One, two, three, inside of me, bright eyes, hypnotized, never telling lies, socialite, half-life, check yourself, do it right, you will be fine. 4, 5, 6, no stones or sticks, my broken bones, somehow they all got fixed. You're so in demand, you're my vitamins, pretending highs. Abracadabra, 1, 2, 3, please make them disappear. And whatever happens, promise me you won't leave me here. Seven, 8, 9, no, not alright. TV, catch me, crushes, waste time, out of sight and out of mind. Just need another rhyme, I'm too numb to cry. 8, 9, 10, it's happening again. I'm moving out and moving on, I'll throw away and hold it in. You're lonely, never ever only, nothing feels right. Abracadabra, 1, 2, 3, please make them disappear. And whatever happens, promise me you won't leave me here. Leave me here. Spell again, how come you're emotionless? I just drown. Abracadabra, 1, 2, 3, please make them disappear. And whatever happens, promise me you won't leave me here. Abracadabra, 1, 2, 3, please make them disappear. And whatever happens, promise me you won't leave me here. Leave it behind. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Do you need anything like I need you? just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant! Oh! Dude, my air drumming is tight. Let's go! Oh! I'm gonna let the beginning freedom start. Just 1 second. Freedom. Come on! Let's go! You depend, so you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. Oh. Oh, let's go. I like my suitcase. I like my suitcase.
Dude, one day they're going to wake up and they're going to find fucking like Natalie Harp in a suitcase. Right? Where do you find my music? So they're down in the description. There are some links to a couple records on Apple Music and Spotify. And then the shit on the stream right now is not available on streaming services yet. It should be available, though, on hard copy here, like end of summer. Into fall. You like that? I like my suitcase. I like my suitcase. Dude. What a bunch of fucking weirdos. Yeah. Soon to be, I like my Andrew Tate court case. All right. How we doing? You ready? You ready, guys? So we got a banging show. It is gonna be maybe a little bit of a short one, right? Because I feel like fucking like getting some sleep tonight. I do. I've been grinding. I've been starting a little late because of like getting back after New York City. And, you know, I've been fucking trying to catch up on sleep a little bit. Now, here's what we're looking at tonight, though, because we have a number of things heating up here. Number one is Melania made an appearance, guys. Now, I don't know if you realize how big this is, because as I tweeted earlier today, there's only two things that have made Melania come out of hiding in the last year. And one of them was Jeffrey Epstein, with her going to the podium saying all the Jeffrey Epstein things are lies, right? And then the other one is Natalie Harp, right? All of this Natalie Harp talk has made Melania have to come forward and be like, oh, we're the happy couple. Oh, right. Oh, Trump's pretending like he's not a rapist, degenerate piece of shit. Yeah, nobody missed her, right? Nobody. She's like, oh, we'll watch the clip. I think you missed me. Nobody missed her. Okay, everybody just wants Melania to fuck directly off. All right? Right? So that I thought was pretty crazy. Epstein, Harp, Melania. I think there should be a collab in there, right? There could be some type of like, you know, photo session revival, right? Melania and fucking, you know, Natalie Harp with like Epstein's corpse. I don't know. You right? On Trump's private jet. Right? I mean, dude, anything could happen. All right. So that's number one, is we got weird behavior with Melania. Now, not to be outdone, Natalie Harp's brother did go on CNN, and they've been unearthing the letters that this woman wrote. And like, guys, this woman is fucking crazy. Okay. And what's wild is she avoided a security clearance for a year. So we're going to look at Natalie Harp's craziness as well. Dude, it's bizarre. And here's what's nuts is when Trump is awake at 2 a.m. with whatever Natalie Harp typing next to him, this woman could literally be, you know, influencing like world foreign policy, right? We know Trump doesn't listen to any advisors. He probably asked Natalie while she's scooping fucking shit out of his diaper. He's like, yo, oh, Natalie, oh, you used the metal spoon today. Oh, what should I do with Iran? Should I bomb a couple grade schools? Oh, yeah, put the spoon in my ass. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Right? Dude. You know? So, fucking A, bro. That shit is crazy. Okay? So, we got this weirdness with Natalie Harp. Right? We're going to look at that. Then, I want to look at part 2 of, right? I want to look at part 2. Hold on one sec. I want to look at part 2 of Candy and 𝗙cie𝗶𝗍𝗀 because I actually really enjoyed watching that last night. I don't know why the 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗪𝗃𝗍 collab where they're talking about TPUSA. I feel like there's value in that, in gutting MAGA. So I'm going to keep making videos about that because the video watchers really like that shit. So we're going to look at that. And guys, we have to look at Sophie Cunningham, okay? Because again, the anti-trans shit is kicking up. There's like a sports writer at the Seattle Times that quit today. And so all of the anti-trans weirdos were like kicking this shit up today. And they had a protest of like 5 fucking people in Dallas for a game. And again, the Indiana Fever, they lost. Sophie Cunningham sucked. Dude, I think she had 1 point, guys. She's like so bad at basketball. Everybody is just trouncing them, okay? And yeah, nobody wants to look at Sophie Cunningham, but we have to rub our nose in it. We do. This anti-trans behavior will not stand, man. Right? It will not stand. You're looking for work, Aria, in New York City? Yeah, dude, it took Bryce a while. It took him like 7 months, right? It took him like 7 months to find a job. But he got it. He started today. And so far, so good. He's digging it, right? So yeah, so we're going to look at all that, all right? It'll be a little bit short, but let's dive right in. I'm going to start off the dance party goal, okay? We're going to kick off the dance party goal, see if we can dance tonight. I would love to dance. The Mariners did not win, but, you know, they could have. Dude, they made some weird decisions again, but whatevs. The Raiders did win. Come from behind victory. Let's go. Dual sports now. Raiders, Mariners, dude, Seattle, Las Vegas. Let's go. One team I started following last year. The other team I started following in 1976. Dude, can you believe I have been a Raiders fan for 50 years, guys? Isn't that crazy? I've been a Raiders fan for 50 years. How crazy is that? That is wild to me. And they're the only football team I've ever loved, right? And in fact, they were the only sports team I even followed until my son got me into the Mariners last year. 50 years. And I am a season ticket holder. Dude, go Broncos. Oh, Dark Woke Nate. Dude, I'm going to have to ban you, boss. Sorry. Thanks for coming out. Just kidding. No, you're allowed to like the Broncos. Dude, my girlfriend is from Colorado. You went to your first Raiders game in 76, Raiders versus New Orleans. Let's go, dude. That's crazy. Right? You've been a Yankees fan, Giants fan for 50 years. All right. Shout out Oakland. Dude, love it. I've seen them. I've seen the Raiders in Oakland. I've seen them in Los Angeles. And I've seen them in Vegas. Right? And, right, the Portland Beavers. I don't even know what the Portland Beavers are. What are the Portland Beavers? Right? Seahawks repeat. I hope the Seahawks do repeat. Let's go. All right. All right. You ready? Let's get in here, guys. Dude, let's get in. Let's get in. Let's get in deep. All right. We're going in. We're going in. Let's start with Melania. Okay. We're going to start with Melania. Okay. Here, dude, a couple of things here. First off, we've all seen this image. Trump and Natalie Harp hiding in a fucking vehicle. They're being very weird. Everything about this is weird. Again, I don't think Trump is trying to stuff his squishy, like 2-inch marshmallow into Natalie Harp. I don't think that's happening at all. I believe Natalie Harp is more like a wet blanket, like she worships him and she coddles him and she mommies him, and she is the mommy that Melania refuses to be. So I think Trump's relationship with Natalie Harp is based on that mommying. I do believe it, that it is that mommying and that devotion. Okay, Trump loves devotion. So this is a real picture, but I believe it's been AI modified to like, right? It was an actual picture on Marine One, but then I think somebody AI, like, you know, whatever, AI upscaled it. That's why their faces look so fucking tweaked out. Okay, but here's Melania's big fucking entrance with Trump. Dude, Melania is so phony, guys. She is such a fake, bro. I mean, Epstein, okay? Epstein, guys. Epstein. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Good afternoon. I heard you missed me.
Yeah, nobody missed you.
Here I am.
Here I am. Oh, yeah, nobody missed you. Nobody. Like seriously, a hard zero. Nobody ever missed this woman, ever. Okay? Yeah, we missed watching someone struggle with basic English, right? We all miss watching a former Epstein escort struggle with basic English, right? And pretend that she can stand being in the same proximity with the Epstein rapist who cheated on her like 500 times while she was pregnant. Yeah, the woman who got $40 million to film a shit movie about a life that nobody fucking cares about. That's all phony. That was just essentially a bribe so Amazon can wage theft from all their employees for 4 years without any federal investigations. Like zero people want to see this ragged garden tool in, right? Zero, hard zero. Seriously, I would rather watch my balls get pulverized with a claw hammer than listen to this woman speak for like more than 12 seconds. Dude, seriously. I'll be like, I'm going to taste the pain. Yo, Melania. Yeah, political punk here. Yo, what's up? Dude, where's Epstein? Are you like Erica Kirking his corpse or what? Did you have the body moved into the fucking, Trump Tower? Do you have a spare room like an Epstein mausoleum so you can relive the escorting days? You go in there, you put some nose plugs in, you go in there and lay down with the king. Yeah, that sounds pretty grody, actually. Yeah, I'm not surprised you're into that. So I do have one question for you, though, because there's this like rumor going around that you speak 5 languages. But I'm wondering what those are, because you still can't fucking speak English. You've lived here for 30 years. Hello? Yo, Melania. Come on. You gonna flash us or what? Come on. Melania, you there? Pick up. All right, fuck you. Bye-bye. All right. She's a little touchy about the Epstein corpse. She hung up on me. I mean, I don't know, dude. Dude, what the fuck, bro? Dude, you like that? That's an image. You can actually picture her having the body in a spare room in Trump Tower. She is indeed a cunning linguist. Yes, she is. Dude, you like that? Oh, shit. Bro, thanks for the image. I got you. All like unforgettably disgusting images will be funneled straight through me, guys. I got you. Let me get a sip of some Rockstar. I got to get a daily, like 6 times my normal sugar. I'm going to be switching to sugar-free soon. All right. So I'm enjoying the last few days of sugar. All right, you ready? You ready? Here we go. Okay, so there's Melania. She is like back from the dead, guys. Right? You miss me? No, we did not miss you. Dude, look at them. They're making fucking AI videos and shit out of her. What the fuck is this? But this is crazy right there. The first lady does not appreciate her husband's 35-year-old assistant, according to Trump biographer. Now, this is Michael Wolff, and Michael Wolff is slinging the bullshit. But despite that, we know that Melania is juiced by the Natalie Harp story because all of a sudden Trump pulled her out of hiding and she did her little press conference. And in fact, Melania's got an assistant, guys. Look at this. Look at Melania's assistant who went on Newsmax. This is the executive exclusive, right? Look at this. This guy is the exclusive senior advisor. Look at his title. Exclusive senior advisor to First Lady Melania Trump. Dude, exclusive. Look at him. Look at Fabio. I swear to you, this is her Corey Lewandowski. Now we see why Melania is never around, dude, because her and Fabio are fucking toot, toot, root, root. Dude, Dark Woke, let's go. Let's go. Dude, look at him. The exclusive senior advisor. The exclusive. Dude, let's go. You ready? All right, Mark Beckman, take us there, buddy.
All of this, Mark Beckman, he's the executive exclusive senior advisor to First Lady Melania Trump. Mark, it's always good to see you.
It's great to see you. Thank you for having me, Bianca.
You know, here's just another test.
Dude, what's with his voice? He sounds like Chuck Schumer. Do you hear his voice? He sounds like Chuck Schumer, bro. He's got Schumer voice.
To how foster kids are really getting a brighter future because of our First Lady. So talk to us about what inspired Melania and IndyCar to come up with this program that we know will be incredible for so many foster kids.
This very innovative collaboration is the brainchild of First Lady Melania Trump. As you know, she's constantly breaking new ground. We've seen that with the reunifications. We've seen that with Fostering the Future in multiple ways, including the Fostering the Future accounts. And
dude, I do not trust an Epstein hag around foster kids at all. But do you hear his voice? Guys, listen to Schumer. He has Schumer voice, guys. I'm telling you right now. Listen to Chuck Schumer. Listen to this, dude. This is insane, boss. Let's find Schumer's voice. He's got Schumer voice. Come on, Chucky. Where are you at, fucknuts? You got no video, Chuck? Dude, he's got a Schumer voice. Here, watch.
23,000 jobs because of Trump's disastrous
is the brainchild of First Lady Melania Trump. As you know, she's constantly breaking new ground.
Tariffs,
we've seen that with
failed
the
war.
Reunifications. We've seen that with
the only person who ought to lose their job right now,
dude,
is Donald Trump.
Dude,
Trump sowed mayhem in our economy with his cost.
He sounds just like him.
Seen that with Fostering the Future in multiple.
Dude, the brainchild of Melania. Bro, let me just tell you, just between you and me, there is nothing that is the brainchild of Melania Trump that does not include a stripper pole and or a driver, right? Like a bodyguard. Dude, Intuition Jen, let's go! The brainchild. All right. Dude, somebody said Fabio. Let's go. Oh, look at that, dude. Stop calling me Felonia. All right. All right. So there we go. So Melania's Corey Lewandowski rears his head. All right. And comes forward now, though. Now we see why Melania's not been around. Now, I have to say, guys, there is no way I trust Melania Trump or anyone in the Trump orbit around foster kids. That is absolutely sounds like human trafficking to me. Dude, yeah, sounds like Chuck. Haha, it does, CK. Let's go. Guys, 27 in 16. Let's get that dance, baby. We got this. We got this. Dude, that's crazy. Okay, now, Natalie Harp. We know that Melania made room for, on her schedule, she made an appearance because of Natalie Harp. Okay, we know this. Trump was demure. He sat in the front row. He did not speak. He was just like, you know, she had to make an appearance. Oh, our marriage is fine. Natalie's not weird. This shit is spiraling out of control. So he pulled Melania out. I wonder how much she's getting paid for these appearances. I honestly do. We got this. Yes, we do. Tony Sled, let's go. Now, simultaneously, what provoked this was the Aaron Burnett CNN interview of Natalie Harp's brother. Okay? Right? Natalie Harp's brother went on CNN and interviewed with Aaron Burnett. Okay? Here's some images we've been seeing of Natalie Harp. Again, she's got the diaper bag. She's got multiple computers, multiple cell phones. I mean, this is just so weird, dude. It's so weird. We're going to look at her letter in a little bit. Her letter is crazy, but her brother did an interview with Aaron Burnett, okay? And here's Natalie Harp's brother, and let's check out some of this.
Now, look, I've been emphasizing here, obviously, you know her in a way that no one else does as her brother, but you are obviously estranged from her at this time. But, you know, we see those pictures of you all as children and your family. If she was listening to you right now, is there anything you'd want to tell her?
Yeah, I love you. I hope that you change and that you wake up and you realize that everybody on this earth is part of a human family, and no country is better than any other country. And the history of the United States is unfortunately really sad, and it shouldn't be rewritten. We got to all come together and try to make it better.
Now, look,
all right. Oh, look at him. He is a hippie. Dude, I love how he's wearing a Bud hat, dude. Right? Dude, he's got his Bud hat on. All right, here we go.
You guys grew up in the same home, the same family, so you understand where she's coming from in a way that no one else does.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think drew her to him?
Not her.
Yeah.
Well, my mom raised us with the idea that American exceptionalism was the correct way of looking at things, that the United States is the boss of the world, that, like, you know, slavery was back then, that was normal. People weren't bad because they had slaves. And honestly, and it's like Trump wants to take all those books out of schools. He wants to rewrite history. And so, like, I think that my sister, unfortunately, didn't break out of that delusion that my mom raised us with. And Trump is like everything that my mom taught us to respect. So I think that's where her infatuation for Trump comes from, honestly, because I don't think it's a physical attraction. Let's get real, you know, like,
dude,
personally,
ew.
I don't think so.
Right? Yeah.
So when you use the word infatuation, I understand your point about, you know, the nature of it. I mean, she obviously is his assistant. They call her the human printer, right? She prints everything. She takes his social media dictation. She accompanies him on almost every trip, including when he goes to Mar-a-Lago or his golf club in New Jersey on the weekends. And she was, of course, Preston, as we're all now aware, one of the very few people who did not include the Secretary of State or Treasury that Trump took off Air Force One via that catering truck. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that. If you're really friends and loyal to your team, why would you just go peace out and take another airplane when you think the other airplane's going to get shot down? Like,
What do you think it is about her? I mean,
dude, he just pissed all over Trump's looks, bro. Right? He's like, ew. He's like, my sister is insane, but even she's not going to be humping that orange sack of Frankenstein shit. Right? Dude, he's so funny.
What do you make of how much the president relies on her? We've learned a lot, from Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swann's new book, we've learned, right, about his incredible reliance on her at all hours of the day to post social media posts, just as one example.
Yeah. I think that Trump's best friends are people who are his fan club, and so she's his biggest fan. And so that's probably why he likes her. And like, she's good looking. She's got a good personality. Like, I don't know.
I want to ask you, Preston, on something that just...
She thinks that he saved her life. So, like, somebody living with that kind of gratitude, that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, dude, think about it. Think about it from like Trump's like God complex sort of deal, right? He's got this young, good-looking woman who looks just like the daughter he wants to bang, and she worships him. She will do anything. If he said, go up on the roof right now and jump off headfirst onto the helipad, she would do it. Like, she would literally do anything. He could say, lay down in front of the SUV, and she'd be like, okay. So he is probably loves that sense of power and control, that he could just do anything and make her fucking do it, right? It is so gross, okay? It is so gross. Hold on. I got to go back. I got to acknowledge some of these donos. People are going fucking crazy. We got Intuition Jen saying, definitely sounds like another way to traffic little ones. Yes. Melania's foster children. No. Melania, get away from the kids, Melania. Get your hand out of the cookie jar. Dude, Marisol, let's go. Still here supporting LFG. Thank you, Marisol. Dude, we got Intuition Jen again. I love when he laughs at his sister's antics. Yeah, this guy actually reminds me of a lot of Wisconsin, like Midwestern people I grew up around in Wisconsin. Do we have Stephanie saying 𝗙cie tarantula definitely dying? Heart her rainbow journey? No, your tarantula is dying. Oh my God. No, that sucks. That sucks. Hold on. Let me I got some shit on my glasses here. Dude, I thought your tarantula was molting. Why is she dying? No way. He looks like Tommy Lee. He does kind of look like Tommy Lee, right? Let's go. Let's go, guys. All right, we got 8 minutes. 22-8, baby. Let's go. Let's secure this dance party. See if we can find any more clips. All right. Here we go.
CNN, that your sister was involved, back in October 2023, right? There was sort of a screaming match about who was getting in what car, and it turned out that there wasn't room for Natalie. So she insisted, she said no, Trump had personally asked her to come to this court appearance, so she needed to be in the car. Now, according to these sources, the end result is that your sister jumped into the trunk of one of the motorcade vehicles to go to the court appearance in Lower Manhattan.
That's really funny. I didn't even know about that.
I mean, what is your reaction to that? I mean, you're laughing, but I mean, is it funny or what? I mean, you know her, so that's why.
I'm sorry. It's actually kind of sad. That's obsession. That's like an unhealthy obsession with someone. If you're going to jump into the trunk of their car, like.
Dude, did he say trunk of the car? Hold on. I got some new footage here. We got Natalie Harp in the trunk of a car. There she is. Natalie Harp getting into the Epstein Ford Galaxy 500. Right? Oh, shit. Dude, what has she got in there? It looks like she's got some life-saving equipment in there. Yeah, no, there was like not a seat for her to go into Manhattan. So she got in the trunk. She got in the little very back, like underthing of a fucking SUV or some shit, right? And hid in there or rode in there to Manhattan to be close to Trump.
So I mentioned Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swann's book Regime Change, Preston, which of course I know you've heard a lot about it, but in that, Natalie's name became known to a lot of people, right? Prior to the whole NATO plane incident, she was in the book as an important player, and her role, her importance to the president became clear. They report that she left him, the president, a series of letters in personal spaces where she told him, "You're all that matters to me," in one, and another one she writes, "I want to bring you joy." And then they say that Trump said, "Your sister is the only one who loved him as much as his wife and kids." So what is your reaction to this? Does this sound like her, or the person that you knew well, your sister?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so brutal.
I mean, basically, I'd say since she was like 16, she's had an obsession with gosh, how do I explain this? She's written letters to other presidents. Let me put it that way.
Dude. That's like mental.
And so like her dream came true finally.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying that she actually was very aware of politics, right? And that she had written other presidents' letters. Do you happen to know which ones?
She's like
or
a
what
president
they were about, or
stalker.
anything, Preston, that you would be able to share here?
I didn't see the letter, but George Bush, obviously, during the Iraq War.
Oh my God, she was writing Bush.
And did anything ever come of that? I mean, did the White House ever respond or anything, or she just sort of sent a letter?
No, they never responded.
Dude, isn't that crazy? All right, you ready to see one of these letters, guys? This, Natalie, you still there? You still in the trunk? All right, thank you, babe. Stay in the trunk. All right, get in there. Get in there. Close it up. We'll come bang on it with the fucking right. Dude, you ready to see the letter, guys? This letter is fucking whacked, okay? Look at this. It is a typed letter from Natalie Harp. I'm going to bomb through this. Brace yourselves. Wait, we got 4 minutes. All right, guys, we need 22 and 4. We got to get this dance party, and then we're going to read the letter. The letter is to the president. It is her letter to Trump. She writes him letters. You got to see this, though. This is mental, but we need 22 in 4 minutes. Secure the dance party. The letter's coming up. Oh, shit. Here we go, baby. Oh. 3:45. Nothing to see here. Let's go. Thank you, boss. Totally off topic, but half my coworkers have AI psychosis from working with Claude all day, and it sucks. Dude, I bet that's crazy, dude. Travis, let's go, dude. Natalie Vanka Harp. Let's go, Asti. Let's go, Natalie Vanka. I like that. All right, guys, 3 minutes. 19 away, baby. 19 and 3. We got this. Let's go, dude. I bet working around AI all day, I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine how fucking crazy that shit is. Let's dance. Let's giddy up, guys. Let's giddy up. 19 away. 3 minutes. And then we read the Natalie letter. We secure the dance, and then Natalie Harp psychosis. This letter is batshit. It is fucking batshit, guys. I'm not even joking, dude. Punk rock politics. Let's go, Stephanie. Dude, you like your suitcase? I like my suitcase. Blunt front. Let's go. 17, baby. 17. We got this. 17. Dude, we're going down the rabbit hole. The letter is nuts. Yeah, the Daily Beast produced some of these letters. And now, obviously, you know, we do have more important things to talk about, like the economy and all that, but this shit is definitely bothering MAGA. They are getting torqued by this, guys. They are so torqued. 2 minutes, guys. 17-2, baby. 17-2. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. The thing that scares me is what kind of influence she has, because you know Trump will, like, if he needs a yes, he knows where to go, right? If he needs somebody to agree with him, like on a bad decision, he's going to go to Natalie Harp, okay? Right? He is. He's going to go to Natalie, you know. All right, 17, 1 minute. Oh, here we go. Final minute, baby. Giddy up. 16. Should have said Nat wrote to Obama to drive Trump nuts. Oh, shit, dude. She sent some photos to Obama. Dude, let's go 16. That's what I heard. I heard she sent pics to Obama. Shh. She sent some. Dude, 15. Here you go, punk. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Zach Baker. Let's go. 30 seconds. 15 away. We'll reset with 15. Let's go. Should have gray water from 20 baths. I don't know, dude. All right, gray water sounds good. Dude, you got some Natalie in your trunk? Dude, I got some Natalie in my trunk. Dude, that's what's going to happen, bro. Right? If I get pulled over and a noise comes from the back of my car, the officer says, "What's that?" I'm going to say, "Dude, that's just Natalie Harp. We're going to see the president." You don't have to look in there, boss. It's just Natalie. I'm taking Natalie Harp to go see the president. We good. Don't worry. Natalie, you good? Thump. Natalie Vanka. All right. We got to reset. So we got halfway there. All right. We're going to reset this goal. Give me 1 sec here. And then we will look at the Natalie letter. Dude, prepare yourself. Trigger warning. This letter is like truly psychotic. Okay? It is. This is some psychotic ass shit here. 15, light blue, 30 minutes. We're going to go 15 minutes. We're going to see how we fucking do. 15 and 15. Are you ready? All right. Watch this. Okay, here's the letter, guys. Dude, crazy. You see, it's down here. It's hand signed by Natalie, but it's typed out. And it says, dude, super chats. No, they're going up. We got 15 the first round. That one was the 15th. Right, Zax? Fuck you, bye-bye. Yeah, now they'll count. Now they'll go up round 2 because the goal ended. All right. So it says, "Dear Mr. President, I'm sorry. I thought I was the only one left behind last night and had no idea Margot's car was also pulled over and sent back to the airport. Since I was alone in the van outside customs without my passport, I panicked and I should have called Secret Service. I should have just called Secret Service instead of you. I am sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland." So, dude, this is crazy. The first part of this letter, apparently there were some cars pulled over. She was in a van. She fucking didn't have her passport. So instead of calling Secret Service, she called the president to help her on this whatever adventure. And then she's like, "I'm sorry." And then she goes on to some story about the golf course in Scotland. "I am also sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland. The first day I was told there were no carts and people walked, which is why I walked. The second day I was specifically asked by, I forget who his name was, but one of the main people who worked there if I could continue walking and tell any other girls who would head out there to do the same to spare the course any more carts. If there's anything else I've done to cause you trouble, please forgive me. I know that some people have said I haven't been texting them back, and there have been some international cell issues. John was having technical issues on the plane too, so asked me to help him out. So now she's apologizing for these things like, oh my God, I'm sorry I embarrassed you. Like, oh, I called you instead of Secret Service. Like, this is weird, guys. This is fucking weird. Okay, Buckle Bunny, I love you. Keep up the good fight. Fuck Trump. Release the Epstein files. Let's go. New Buckle Bunny. Thank you, boss. Dude, we appreciate it. Big love, baby. Big love. Dude, isn't that crazy? All right. Then she goes into the sappy part. I want things to always be right between us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. I haven't been myself, dwelling on the capitalized past and the pain of losing my dad. And I started letting the remarks of people who haven't bothered me before get to me. Not because I care what others think, but because I see myself being lowered in your eyes and good opinion. That is the fear you see, because I never want to bring you anything but joy. I'm sorry I lost my focus. You are all that matters to me. I don't want to ever let you down. Thank you for being my capital guardian and capital protector in this life. That's what I wanted to use this card for when you saw me at the cash register and once again did what you didn't have to do and gifted me with the mementos of this trip of a lifetime, a coming of age. I will return a better person. I have to sign off now as the cars are leaving. See you soon with all my heart. Bro, dude, yo. Hello, White House. Yo, this is Political Punk here. Yeah, guys, seriously, I just read Natalie Harp's letter. I need you to go right now into the White House kitchen, and I need you to check all of the pots that are boiling. You need to make sure there's not a fucking rabbit in any of them, boss. Dude, this is some weird shit, bro. Bro, I'm serious. I'm going to fucking leave a light on when I go to bed tonight, dude, because I'm afraid I'm going to look in the corner and I'm going to see fucking Natalie Harp in there. Dude, what the fuck is going on, bro? This shit is weird, dude. Fuck you. Bye-bye. Jesus. Bro, isn't that weird? I mean, think about this. Aside from this obviously being like highly unusual, all right, dude, Dark Woke Nate, bro, Paula, save us. Let's go. Let's just point out some of the greater freaky things here. One is the level jumping of when she gets in trouble, she calls the president of the United States to sort it out and not like a handler. Okay. Then she's apologizing about her walking behavior and not responding to people's shit. And then she's like, oh my God, I need things to be right. I've been forgetting to eat and forgetting to sleep. What kind of person forgets to eat and forgets to sleep? That's fucking weird, guys. And she's worried about him looking at her poorly. You're all that matters to me. You're all that matters to me. Bro, what the fuck is this, dude? Dude, this is some Stockholm Syndrome shit. Yo! Dude, this shit is crazy. Crazy, boss. Isn't that nuts? That is some nutty shit, guys. Oh, here's another one. Ready? This is the other one. And she signed this one in Sharpie. Says, "Dear Mr. President," now this is the note I wanted to write, but the apology needed to come first. So this is after. This is a follow-up on the previous apology. "I have learned so much about myself on this trip. I always knew coming home to my roots would be enlightening, but I had no idea how much. For the first time in I don't know how long, you forced me to unplug. We could be out on the course with no machines and even forget what time it was. I didn't have to be human printer. I could take time to enjoy good conversation and still get all my work done at the end of the day. In fact, I even had time to take a long morning and evening walks to enjoy each sunrise and sunset, though I did forget to eat and sleep." Oh, dude, the random capitalization is really bizarre, guys. Now you see that, like, she's definitely maybe the one randomly capitalizing his tweets. Dude, what on earth? With so much thinking time, I confess it did have a slightly negative effect at times that I know you picked up on. But the end result, I believe, will be worth it. I had no idea how rapidly I was approaching burnout and starting to envy those whose only job seems to be to talk to you and look pretty. I want that job. So many times I'm just trying to stay afloat with all that's coming in for you. I look like a hunchback who didn't have time to freshen up. At least you know what I should look like. Plus, I miss the days when you used to call during my talk show days and we'd talk about everything and nothing. I want to get back to that synergy. We shouldn't have to talk about work all the time. I've always felt like an in-betweener, somewhere between staff and those you enjoy talking to on the plane or at dinner, because that's who I used to be to you when I was a talk show host. As much as I hated that actual job, I wish I could hear every conversation, because that's when you're having a good time, getting away from it all, at least for a few moments. But after going through all this self-analysis, my conclusion, I'm fucking psycho, crazy. I need to reunite my past self with my current into a better version who will make you proud. And please, when I fail, will you tell me? You have the absolute right to cuss me out if need be when I deserve it, because no one knows or cares about me more. Thank you for always being there for me. I'll never forget when you made that promise to me after losing my dad, and I know how happy he is right now that I did get to Scotland and Ireland, as he always wanted for me. To modify a classic, I could not have parted with you to anyone less worthy, and I will add, it is I who is unworthy. Always, Natalie. P.S. My hands looked worse in Scotland and Ireland because the cold turns the old scars purple. Still on the road to recovery. Dude! What? What the fuck did I just read? Oh my God. Bro, the old scars? Yeah, I presume the scars are from hand jiving with steel wool. What is this? This is so psychotic. Now we see why Melania made an appearance. Melania had to come out of retirement, dude. She's exhuming Epstein's corpse right now as we speak. All right, let me get caught up on the donuts, dude. We got nothing to see here. Ever see Misery? Maybe Natalie will become Annie. Yeah, maybe she's gonna hobble his ass. All right, guys, we need 11. 11 in 4, baby. 11 in 4, we got this. Dude, that's the weirdest shit you ever read, right? It's not just me, guys. That is the weirdest shit I've ever read about how, oh my God, I forget to sleep and eat again. Oh, I don't want to just be human printer. Oh, I want to just be able to talk to you. I'm burning out, but I love everybody just gets to stand by you and look pretty. I want that job. Oh. And Trumpy's like, oh, scoop more out of the diaper, Natalie. Let's go 3 minutes, baby. We are 3 away, guys. 11 in 3, boss. Down to the wire, last chance to dance, baby. 11-3. Dude. Freaky. Dude, she's a weirdo. Dude, fire up the Barbie, mate. Let's go shrimp on the Barbie. 10 away, baby. 10 away. Let's go, dude. The Aussies are here. This is some whacked out shit. Fire up the Barbie, mate. Let's go. Another shrimp on the Barbie, dude. 9 and 2.5. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We're getting this dance. Secure the dance. Dude, secure the dance or Natalie Harp is going to hide in your fucking trunk. Dude, the craziest part, she thinks he read it and cares. Let's go. Living, loving guidance. Let's go. Thank you, boss. Psycho killer. Let's go. Le boss. Thank you, Steve. Dude, believe it or not, guys, I think, like, I don't know, dude. I think Trump reads these. I do. I think he reads them. It's like worship, right? He's just like, dude, I picture him. Actually, this is the only thing he would read right here. Dude, Jason's. Let's go. Yeah, dude, Loomer is actually looking normal or has them read to him. Mate, you think he has somebody else? You think he has Laurel Loomer come and read these to him? Another shrimp on the Bobby. Dude, let's go do Shovel Dead. Crazy. Tingle Bitties. Thank you, Shovel. Appreciate you, boss. Let's go. Dude, crazy. Yeah, you think he calls Laurel Loomer and has Loomer read him? Right? Dude, who has to read this shit? He calls Marco Rubio in, right? Marco Rubio has to read him to him. He's like, I'll make you president, Marco, but you got to read these letters to me, and you got to put your hand on my knee while you do it, little Marco. 1 minute, guys. 5 away. 5 in 1, baby. Let's go. This is our last 45 seconds. I bet he has Marco read them. Marco's got to come in. He's like, you're going to be president, Marco, but you got to read them. You got to put your hand on my knee, and you got to take a couple shovels out of the diaper. Dude. You got to hold Laura Loomer's hair while she polishes the knob. Dude, let's go, Jason's. Come on, people. We need a dance party. Let's go 4 away, dude. 14 seconds. And then there were 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 away, 3, 2, 1. And we're going into overtime in honor of Natalie. We got the 1 minute timer. There it is. 1 minute timer. Let's go. We need 4 more. We got 4 away, baby. 4 away, yeah. Dude, Marco Rubio has to hold Laura Loomer's hair while she goes, oh, good knob. Oh, yes, good knob. Oh, what nice knob. Dude, good knob. Marco is holding her hair. Man. Oh, shit. That is the worst. 20 seconds. Let's go. We're resetting. All right, 1 minute. Let's go. Dude, time to giddy up, baby. Oh, let's go. Polish. Sue me, Natalie is one sick puppy. She is indeed. Guys, she's damaged. Dude, cheers to you and all the punks. Oh, Trumpy, let's go. 2 away, guys. We got this. 2. Do it in honor of Natalie Harp. Think about this. Natalie, 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 Natalie. 15 seconds. Do, 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 do. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Petrozzi. There it is. Get that diaper. Dude, Petrozzi, and then Sumi says, get in that diaper, Natalie. Dude, we did it. Goal! Dude, I think personally, the license plate says Epstein. Yes. That was a little detail that I added to the photo, right? With the license plate that says Epstein. I thought that just really tied the room together. Dude, pull and pop. Let's go, the one. Let's go. Dude, this is the craziest shit. Now, one thing I will say, though, guys. You ready? It's like maybe the play here is to just let her, like, just get incredibly close to Trump because she's probably gonna off the dude, you know? There may not be enough help for this one. Let's go, Ingrain. She might go like, you know, like Erica Kirk on his ass. Dude, Trump is gonna get kirked. So maybe we'd put these two together and just let them go hand in hand to the moon. That may be the best, like, way to go here with this. Bro, that is some crazy shit, guys. Okay? It is crazy shit, dude. Right? Dude, oh, wait, Nancy Mace, she made a whole video on this. Dude, yeah, nobody wants your opinion, Nancy. I'm not even going to listen to your shit. Okay? Dude, Nancy Mace made a video. Dude, look at how they're melting down, though. Look at this, guys. Okay, you got Nancy Mace, Insurrection Barbie, Liz Wheeler, some guy named Clay Fuller. Get out of the closet there, buddy. Right? You got the fucking, all of the right-wing influencers are just fucking going off on Jon Ossoff. All Jon Ossoff said, by the way, was travel with Natalie. But they are melting the fuck down, bro. Okay? These letters are some of the craziest shit I have ever seen, guys. Okay? I don't know if you saw this photo either of her and Trump on the golf course. Oh my God, let me show you this photo. This shit is like, look at this photo, guys. Look at that. Dude, she's got the Charlie Kirk teeth, bro. Yo, what is going on? Yikes. Yikes, bro. Oh. That is some wild stuff, guys. I mean, you know, dude, maybe Trump likes that shit. He likes the teeth, dude. Right? Somebody said this feels like a violation of her privacy. Dude, screw her privacy, boss. You know, and here's the thing. Listen to me. And let's be very clear about this, okay? When you are a person who is literally attached to the hip of the president of the United States, you don't have any privacy, okay? You are now one of the closest connections to one of the most powerful human beings in the world that you may be potentially like offering advice that affects millions of lives. You have zero fucking privacy at that point. Okay? I don't care. You're there. These are public servants. Okay? No privacy. If you want privacy, don't attach yourself to the hip of the fucking president. All right? Privacy. Privacy my ass. Privacy to get, right? Privacy my ass. Privacy to be committed, right? Privacy to give little Marco a prostate exam. Jesus. All right. Dude, Yeah, the public should know. Guys, I think it's really important to know who's in the president's ear. Okay? It is very important to know who's in the president's ear, guys. And let me just tell you, okay? Let me just tell you that this is especially nerve-wracking considering the fact that the president is so incredibly, like, unreliable. You know what I'm saying? He is, like, unreliable, impulsive, and we know he doesn't listen to people. So when Trump gets these crazy ideas, it's how much of her crazy ideas are coming from Natalie Harp. Right? Seriously. When he starts rambling about insane, stupid shit, how much of that is coming from Natalie Harp? How much of his weird worldview is coming from Natalie Harp? Right? Bro, crazy. Now, there we go. We're going to keep Natalie up there, though. That shit is bonkers. All right. All right. So, moving on, though. Ready? See what else we got on tap here, guys. Oi. Oi, 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 oi. All right, let's look at Sophie Cunningham, okay? Because this stuff is fucking wild, all right? It is, dude. Dude, Sophie, oh my God. Okay, so a couple of things happened today, all right? First off, there was a game in Dallas, and Sophie Cunningham is like, whatever, okay? She is, you know, trying to be her anti-trans self, okay? This is her big claim to fame now, is now they're trying to do these protests everywhere, okay? But guys, these protests are fucking tiny. There's like nobody, there's just a small handful of people that are engaging in these protests. And in fact, today, the one in Dallas, the trans defenders were way louder than the anti-trans people that showed up to protest her. Okay, now, what's interesting about this is she's been trying to claim some level of innocence here, of like, oh, I'm not part of the anti-trans movement. I'm honestly just, you know, common sensing and trying to protect little girls. Okay, but here's the problem. There's no men playing in sports with little girls. And when she talks about protecting little girls from men and women's sports, that is making an association that is implying that all trans women are like predators, men with little girls, right? Trans women aren't men to begin with, but even that weird, like, conjunction of talking about little girls and talking about men is a way of subtly, like, in portraying trans women as predators and serious dangers. Now, the anti-trans movement is doing this shit, okay? The anti-trans movement is using her as their fucking spokesperson. And she's aware of this. There's no way that she is blind to the fact that Riley Gaines and Jennifer Say and the XXXY and all of these, Brandy Cruz and all of these assholes, okay, all of these fucking people are using her. And she is allowing herself to be used by them, and she is being their centerpiece, and she's putting her hand over the heart at the anthem, and she's going on the radio shows, and she's aligning with all these people. So she is a dirtbag. She's always making sure her cross necklace is prevalent and all this. She's writing this shit. Now, what's wild about this, guys, is that there are literally no trans women in the fucking WNBA. There's none trying to be in the WNBA. And in fact, guys, trans youth are banned from sports in like so many states. And I want to show you some facts here because I did a little bit of research today, guys. And these are estimated numbers, but look at some of these numbers, guys. Okay, because you ready for this? So I want to take you through these numbers here to show you what a non-issue this is. All right, let me find my numbers because this shit is bullshit. Okay, right here. Okay, so there are roughly between 60,000 and 75,000 girls in America every year that compete at the state championship level in various sports. Okay, if you go to all the schools in America, in state championships, there's like 60 to 75,000 girls that compete every year for state championships. And that means from 2017 to 2026, 9 years, there's roughly 500,000 girls that have competed for state championships in America in 9 years. These are rough estimates, okay? There have been 6 transgender athletes that have won state championships in sports in 9 years. 6 out of 500,000. 500,000 girls have competed at the state championship level. 499,994 of the winners were cisgendered girls. 6 in 9 years were transgender girls. That's it. That is nothing. That is nothing. That's like less than one a fucking year, bro. Okay? That is like 1 out of 70,000. So nobody is losing their fucking, right? Nobody is losing their scholarships. Nobody's losing huge opportunities. 6 athletes have won state championships out of 500,000 athletes in 9 years. Now, you ready for a different stat? Look at this stat. 20% roughly of high school girls experience some type of sexual violence. It's like 18% said they've experienced sexual harassment or sexual violence. 1.4 million high school girls experience some type of SA every year. So that means in the time that 6 trans athletes won out of 500,000 girls in 9 years, there's been 12 million, 13 million high school girls in that same time period have been SA'd or experienced some form of sexual violence, roughly. So 13 million girls experience sexual violence, and almost all of it is cisgendered men. There have literally I've only been able to find like 10 trans women that have ever harmed women, okay? But there's like 13 million high school girls experience sexual violence in 9 years. 499,994 high school girls won state championships, and 6 transgender athletes won state championships. And that's what they're attacking, guys. It is bullshit. Okay? This whole thing is bullshit. Now, it gets crazier because they like to use this website. Okay, you ready? Watch this. So there's this website that they keep posting called 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀. Okay, let me find it. It is this right here. There's a website called 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀.org, which is a way of trashing trans women and calling them calling them men. Okay. But what's crazy about this is this 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀 site has like 1,000 trans athletes, okay, that they say have stolen like whatever wins. okay? But guys, this is worldwide, and it is like 10 years, 1,000 athletes. But worldwide, guys, there are 200 million people worldwide that compete in athletics. 200 million plus. And in 10 years, 1,000 trans athletes, 200 million students are competing every year, right? So that means in 10 years, it's like 2 billion fucking competitions. And there's 1,000 trans athletes that they're trying to monitor at this site. It is like so gross. It is so gross, guys. It is like a tiny, teeny, tiny, non-existent fucking percentage of our shit. And yet this is their whole fucking thing, okay? This is their whole, like all of their campaign is based around this, okay? And like, if you look at Benny Johnson, he said, oh, Sophie Cunningham fans are packing entire sections, right? Blah, blah. Dude, there's 2 girls there. Oh, 4. There's 4 people there. They're not packing any sections. There's 4 people. And what the fuck is this woman? This woman's a fucking lizard person, dude. Dude, there's nobody packing the stands. There's 3 girls. There's like 6 people. There's nobody. There's literally nobody at these things, guys. You know who showed up, though, was Ken Paxton showed up, right? Ken Paxton, who fucking cheated on his wife and committed fraud and let a pedophile out of jail after a month. He was there with his daughter. You think he's going to let Trump grab her pussy, or like, is that off the table for Kenny P? But you ready for this? Look at this. This was Sophie's thing today, guys. Sophie was on the court tonight for 14 minutes. Okay, she shot 3 times and missed all 3 of them. Right? Isn't that crazy? Dude, she sucks. Dude, she sucks. Dude, I shit you not. Like, she is like the worst basketball player in the entire WNBA. And you know what's crazy, guys? Is she's getting worse. Okay, she is getting worse because she's not even about basketball anymore. She is about MAGA fucking finger chucking at this point. Okay, she is. She is a terrible, terrible basketball player. And look at what Fort Worth wrote. Sophie Cunningham is the gift that the WNBA has no idea how to properly use. And then you look at it and it's like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. Dude, just like Riley Gaines, yes, sucks ass. Just like Royce White, the dude wearing a wig trying to get into sports. Everybody who sucks at sports becomes an anti-trans influencer. Now, I know this is rude to say, guys, okay? Right? I know this is rude to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm fucking rude, okay? I am. I'm rude, so you don't have to. But, like, look at this shit, guys. There was a woman who was sitting here. Look at this woman saying, just left the dentist's office where my dentist told me she loves the fever. I was wearing my XXXY sweatshirt. So much was said without ever speaking beyond her statement. She knew, I knew. This woman's an anti-trans influencer, but look at her. Dude, why are all of the anti-trans women like manly as fuck? Why is that? I want to know why all of the anti-trans influencers are like the least feminine women on the planet, dude. Isn't it crazy, Shiloh? I'm telling you, all of them. Look at her. That's her. You ready? Let me take you through some of these. Here's another one. You ready? Look at Jennifer Say, who is of the XXXY. Dude, look at this woman. You ready? Look at her. Oh my God, dude. She looks like Harvey fucking Weinstein, bro. Jesus Christ. Dude, you put Harvey Weinstein in an XXXY t-shirt. And that's him, bro. Like, holy shit. Stay away from my daughter. Dude, they all look so like, I swear, guys, they are anti-trans because transgender women are more feminine than them. That's really what it is about, boss. Dude, isn't that crazy? Dude, I shit you not, though, dude. If you look at Harvey Weinstein, she looks like him. Dude, she does, bro. Like a young Harvey Weinstein. Right? There he is. Look. Tell me that that's not the same person. Dude, look at that. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, twinsies. Dude. Dear God. I'm telling you, dude. I am sick. I am sick, dude. I am a sick motherfucker, bro. I am. Dude, I did ask her. I was like, seriously, like, what the fuck I'm serious. Why do all you anti-trans women look like men? Right? Is that why you hate trans women? I'm like, Jennifer Say is a hag too. And I'm like, bro, dude, I'm like commenting that shit under her stuff. Cause dude, it's an honest question. I think it is a fair ask. Like, seriously. And I mean, if you look at these anti-trans influencers, there's another one, which is this 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗪 woman or whatever. Look at her. Same shit, bro. Look at this woman. Like, what in the fuck is that, dude? Oh my God. Like, seriously. Jesus Christ almighty, dude.
You will have
dude.
been following the Sophie Cunningham.
Oh my God. Like, bro. Dude, she had those eyebrows stitched on with a sewing machine, dude. Dude, yeah. Total Hitler haircut. Dude, haircut by Eva Braun, dude. Jesus. Right? And then you have Brandy Cruz is another one. Okay, Brandy Cruz is another one. Look at her. Dude, look at her, bro. Oh my God, dude. Dude, that is man face. Okay? That is man face, guys. It is crazy. Dude. Right? Oh, bro, you know, but here's the problem is we've looked at the numbers. Okay. We looked at 500,000 athletes competing at the state level in 9 years, 6 transgender athletes winning state championships in 9 years, 6 out of 500,000, 1.4 million high school girls being SA'd or experiencing sexual violence every year. And they're not paying attention to that. In fact, those same anti-trans people are voting for rapists like Donald Trump. They're voting for people like Ken Paxton who let pedophiles out onto the street. They're voting for people that put other rapists like RFK Jr., Pete Hegseth, Epstein Island visitors like Elon and Lutnick and Peter Thiel and all of them in their cabinets. They're hiding the Epstein files. But they want to attack like a tiny number of trans women, trans girls that just want to play high school sports and be left alone. Give me a fucking break, bro. It is like religious zealots and they're funded by people that are trying to criminalize trans existence. Okay? And dude, I'm going to keep fighting them. Okay? I'm going to keep fighting them because it's like somebody's got to keep speaking up for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to keep fucking speaking up for this shit. I'm getting sick of these guys every day. And we know that what's going on now is like the economy's in the tank. We're in a war. Trump has fucked everything up. He screwed everybody. He's not done anything he promised. So now they are just focusing on transgender people, hoping that they can use this culture war shit as a way of drumming up enough fear to get people to go out and vote. You know? And it is like, dude, it's so gross, man. It's like they have no fucking policy. They have this non-existent problem. All right, Grant, take care, buddy. All right, appreciate you, boss. It's like there's a non-existent problem. They're creating a fake problem so they can fucking attack like people that need our help and don't need to be attacked. You know what I'm saying? It's so tiring. And it's the same shit, guys. Like somebody said, let me just show you this. Somebody got in my replies today and said, you know, they're doing the fucking, you know, the same shit they did with gay people when we were younger, right? And I did look at it because they did the same shit when I was younger, okay? When I was like 10, they were going against gay people like very heavily in the late 70s. And they used to claim that like being gay was like an ideology, okay? That it was this thing that was like, it was like a cult of gay, okay? Then they claimed that they're gonna turn your kids, okay? So you gotta stay away from them because they're gonna convince your kids and they're gonna make your kids gay. They're gonna like infect them with gay. Then they also called them groomers and pedos, right? They tried to automatically associate them as being predators. So if a gay guy talked to somebody, he was like being a predator. They never even just had normal conversations, okay? They insisted that these gay people and your kids being turned gay was like the number one danger. They called it demonic, and then they wanted to exclude them. They wanted to exclude them from sports, from locker rooms, from coaching jobs, from scouting, right? From after school programs. It was all about exclusion. It was about exclusion and their predators. It was the exact same shtick, guys. It is like a playbook. And you know what's crazy? Is before they did this to the gay people, you know who they did this to? They did this to black people, okay? They said they did it to black people, saying they're gonna fucking pollute your kids' minds. They're dangerous. They're rapists. They keep them away from your daughters. They're predators. They're dangerous, right? They're you know, devil worshipers and shit, right? If they came from the Caribbean or whatever, and wanting to exclude them. They did it with people of color too, man. It is like a consistent playbook they use to demonize and to try and like build like, you know, fearmonger public sentiment into people viewing them as a danger. So then they'll just turn their backs while lawmakers and police officers and shit abuse them and nobody will show up and help them. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucking, you know, it's fucking brutal, guys. It's like brutal. It is brutal. And it's motivated by religion. It is. It's motivated by religion because the religious people like don't want to accept that their deity is like imperfect, right? Here's Ken Paxton with his fucking daughter. Dude, he's so gross. Can you imagine being Ken Paxton's daughter? Jesus. It's grody, dude. Grody. Right? And here she is. Dude, superstar Sophie Cunningham, right? 15 minutes, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 1 foul. What does she do, dude? Right? That's from the other night, though, that picture. Right? She does nothing, dude. Nothing. She's a useless basketball player, boss. Indiana Fever superstar. Dude, the only thing she did was 1 personal foul, boss. 1. That's it. Oh. Crazy. One. Yes, I've seen people in Michigan. I'm not going to worry about the people in Michigan, though, guys. I think, you can't worry about that. Like, Abdul has to go campaign, and those Dems won't be forgotten because they're not Dems. Anybody that's supporting Mike Rogers is not a Democrat, okay? And they're doing it out of fealty to Israel or because they're Islamophobic. One of the two. But fuck them, dude. Let them identify themselves, right? We know who not to trust, dude. They can get a big boot in their ass. Big boot in the ass, dude. Right? Trust me though, guys, there's going to be a party realignment, okay? It is. There's a party realignment happening. And we're starting to see where people's loyalties are. But guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to move on to Candace and Anna, because I need some levity here, and I'm just eating up the gossipy shit coming from TPUSA's demise. But let me just say this. You ready? There's a thing, okay? Check this out. There is a thing, okay, called the thermocline of trust. I've mentioned this before, but this is a thing that you have. It's in marketing and shit like that, okay? It's like a brand thing. If you study marketing, if you study advertising, there's a thing called the thermocline of trust. Now, you know what the thermocline is? So for those of you who don't know what the thermocline is, it's a thing that happens in the ocean, where the ocean goes with a gentle slope where the beach is coming from the coast, and then it goes out to a certain point and it just drops the fuck off. And the thermocline, like the temperature there, changes radically. The ocean goes from cold or cool to like incredibly cold because there's like a shelf where the beach edge, the sort of like the slow outcropping ends, and it gets super deep. And that's the thermocline. Now, in brand management, in advertising, you have a thermocline of trust, okay? And that means like you have a brand, you have these things, and scandals happen. You get canceled for this, that, and the other, you're fine. But once you get to the thermocline of trust where you've had too many scandals about too many important things, you can never win it back, okay? You can always win your fans back until you breach that thermocline of trust to a point of no return, and then you're just done. And this is what has happened with like TYT, where you're never going to see TYT on the left again. And this is why they're moving to Tucker Carlson, because they know they can never get back to the left, okay? And it happened with me in Fortnite after I went against Andrew Tate. They had just had enough of me because I went against their God King. And so there was no way I could win back the Fortnite community because I went against Andrew Tate, right? So when you hit that thermocline of trust, when you go over it, there's just no coming back. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because Israel has gone off the thermocline of trust, and they've done it globally, okay? They're not coming back into favor, okay? They're not. They might still pound money into primaries. They might still win elections for another 10 years or whatever. But Israel has lost trust of anyone believing that they're operating good or fairly or with anyone's best interests in mind. That like Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir are clearly bloodthirsty, maniacal killers that are manipulating Donald Trump and lying and cheating and stealing, and they're brutal and they're stealing the land and they're fucking, right? Everybody knows this. We saw Gaza play out, and they're never going to be able to undo it. It doesn't matter how many fucking influencers they pay for. It doesn't matter how many Charlie Kirks they off. It doesn't matter how much they, how much money they give Donald Trump or any of these candidates. They have gone off that thermocline of trust globally. And no matter what they do now, they're just unraveling. And it may be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, but the thread has been pulled of the sweater, and they are just going to continue to unravel. And so now, when they're pounding 70 million into whatever Haley Stevens campaign, they lost. Okay? They pound 16 million against Angie Nixon in Florida, and they lost. And they're still winning a bunch of races, but they're also losing massively overfunded races. And every time they overfund a race and they gloat about it, Jared Moskowitz gloats about it, they're ruining that thermocline of trust even more. Every time they win and gloat, they're hated even more because everybody sees it now. Everybody sees that they pound money in. They don't care about America. They don't care about Americans. They're literally just trying to buy American endless weapons and protection so they can bomb and kill and steal land in the Middle East and protect oil interests and fucking, right? And everybody knows this now. And so I am no longer afraid because it's like it is unraveling. And so now we just have to continue doing the work, and we have to realize that the undoing, they will never get back to where the world like views them as like an important ally anymore. They're just not going to get that back. I don't think ever, unless, they get rid of all the bloodthirsty people and have some type of amend-making regime and radically change the way they operate in the Middle East. It's just not ever coming back, guys. At this point, it's just, it's a point of no return, And so I think it's actually an important part of, I think it's an important part of the evolution of like the new world, right? A new world where we're not, like, I don't know, we're going to have less imperialism, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, they've been propped up. That country's military has been propped up by us since their inception. America has used the Israeli military to do our bidding and to war in the Middle East, so we don't have to, and we can be the benefactors of all that, and we've provided them, carte blanche protection. But I think it's coming to an end, guys. It is. It's coming to an end. So, yeah, man. Right? It is. Used. It's a satellite state of the USA. Yeah, always has been. Right? If anything, you're unfortunately entering a period of more war. We might be. We might be like entering a period of more war, but I think it's like phasing out, man. I think the one thing is you may, guys, listen to me. You may have we lost trillions, yeah, shy, but our companies gained. Okay, the corporate infrastructure, the military industrial complex, the weapon makers, and the fucking, right, and the oil companies. those are the people that fucking made off like bandits. Okay, it's mostly about that military industrial complex, which includes the oil industry. And the government just got saddled with all the debt, right? But believe me, there's like multinational corporations and the surveillance state and everything that has been completely propped up by our paid warring in the Middle East. Now, what I do want to say about this, guys, is that knowledge is power, okay? And you can't undo the information network, okay? Which means from here on out, every generation of people, every generation of kid is growing up with a higher functioning brain that has access to more and more information at their fingertips. And even the people, like, I know some people will live in a bubble and choose to believe propaganda and all that, but that doesn't matter, okay? What matters is the people that step out of the bubble and see the world as it is. That changes the people that are in the bubble that believe the propaganda, whether they like it or not. And this is a very real thing, guys, okay? Like, as an alcoholic, there's a dynamic that exists in addiction and codependence. It is like a yin and a yang, where you have people either lean toward being an addict or they lean toward being a codependent. And the codependent and the addict need each other. The codependent needs the addict to fix in order to avoid their own shit. And the addict needs a codependent to help them continue their addiction in a functional way. So codependents and addicts find one another. But what happens is, if an addict steps out and gets help and starts fixing himself or herself, and they start healing their addiction, their changed behavior starts changing the codependents, even if the codependents don't do any work on themselves. The dynamic gets broken, and the codependents like have to function differently because they're not playing the same game. So what I'm saying is the people who go into the propaganda, whatever, those religious tunnels, and they just refuse to see the change of the world, the more of us in the world that see the truth and keep speaking the truth and keep living the truth and keep healing our own trauma and our generational trauma, we will change the people that are not healing themselves, because we're changing the dynamic of how we interface with the shared humanity. So all you have to do is worry about you and do your work. Like, we all have to do our work of like keep pushing towards this new reality, keep fighting against those imperialist things, keep shining a light on the real history, keep fighting all those good fights, and keep individually healing our generational trauma. And they won't be able to overcome that. You can't overcome healing. You just can't. It's just it's unbreakable. So keep the faith, all right? It may feel like we're losing sometimes because they're louder, they're noisier, they're more aggressive, their negativity and the hatred and the wounds and the pains of war and all that financial power dominance, all that shit like moves faster and it triggers the algorithms and it feels overwhelming, makes you feel like you're surrounded. But you just need to like shine your fucking light and get in there and keep piercing the fucking darkness, okay? Because you cannot stop the light. You can't. You can't. You cannot. You cannot fucking stop the light, guys. Get your fucking flashlight out there, pierce the darkness, fuck them, okay? This shit, like the age of Aquarius is upon us, and this shit is changing. The world is changing. And these old imperialist, like oppressive influences, they're going to fall by the wayside. We might not see it in my lifetime. Maybe you're not even going to see it in your kids' lifetimes, but we'll see. But it's happening, dude. It's happening. MySpace was rad. I did like MySpace. MySpace was great until it got like overused. right? It used to be great for booking tours until everybody started sending impersonal fucking copy and paste chain emails to everybody. Right? The famous quote is, he who fights them with monsters should be careful lest they become a monster. That's a good quote, right? That's a good quote, guys, right? That one about the monsters. You know why? Because it's like having to not get corrupted, right? And I mean, that I feel like affects all of us, right? I think personally, guys, if I have a number one thing that I would say to people is, I would say, don't get corrupted by the power of parenting. Okay? That's like, seriously, I don't think we take parenting seriously enough, because parenting, the parents have so much power over the kids, and a lot of parents get corrupted by that, and they're controlling, or they're emotionally distant, or they're physically abusive, or they like restrict the kids from expanding their knowledge or interest because the parents try to like control who they are and what they become. And that really fucks up humanity, because that is where most of the corruption, I believe, exists, in how parents like abuse their kids in many ways, shapes, or forms, because they don't realize the power they have, and they don't empower their kids. They just control them and oppress them, and they don't even realize it. You know, they don't even realize that, like, the kids, their souls need to breathe. Dude, Ethan, got on late. Hope you had a good show. Let's go. Right? Yeah, I mean, a lot of parents are trying to, like, right their own wrongs by forcing their kids into, you know, different, like, fucking configurations and shit, right? But, all right, let's go, baby. Let's go, dude, and screw religion. No more religion, boss. Go Our Lady Peace. All right, let's go, dude. I'm not even the hugest fan of Our Lady Peace. I've seen them. Jenny likes them, but I love the shirt, dude, and I had a great time at the concert. Right? And I like some of their songs, but I never really got too deep into it. All right, you ready though, guys? You ready? Now we're going to unplug for a little bit, and we're going to have some pure fucking, just some sheer fucking enjoyment. We're going to say hi to Natalie in the trunk. And let's go to Candace and Anna. Dude, I really enjoy this shit, dude. All right?
Wants it, and the FBI said, no, you can't.
All right, you ready? We're going back to Candace and Anna. Dude, let's go. Oh, shit. Love it. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and we're going to wind down, guys, with a little bit of Candace and Anna. All right? Because why not? Dude, look at them. So funny. The Melvins, let's go. This was way better than the debate. Dude, this was. I mean, guys, you know what's funny is like, don't get me wrong. I find Anna objectionable, and I know she's going to Tucker Carlson, and I find Candace objectionable too. But man, anybody who's going to get in and cuck MAGA and TPUSA and the right-wing movement, I'm into it. I am actually, because I know that Anna is never going to be a leftist again. She's not on our side, right? But if she's going to go to Tucker, like, let her just go ahead and fucking go to Tucker and help Candace destroy MAGA and split MAGA in two and take some people to Tucker and dilute the right wing. Let it all happen. Okay? Fuck it. Let him do it. I am down with it. I am down with it. They're doing leftism a favor, guys. They really are. The more that they fuck shit up and the more that they split that MAGA conservative shit and get those conspiracy theorists going, the more they do that, the more power leftist politics in America has, okay? Because they're like conspiracies and they're culture wars and they're single issue voters and they get obsessed about these religious things. And like leftism is like the cure for all of that shit. It's about like objective reality. It's about, you know, information used to discern truth and to try and solve problems through like multiple inputs. It's about the secular getting away from religion and moving to the group, right? It's about getting out of the fucking Stone Ages, you know, and getting away from that shit and going into new realms of consciousness. And all of that prospers when people get stuck in rabbit holes of smallness and divisiveness and you know, fucking, you know, their religious devotion. So I say more power to these idiots. All right, I'm going to play some song. I'm going to play a song while I go to the bathroom. We'll be right back. We're going to fucking get into it. All right? Are you ready? Let's go.
You're all I've got. You're all I want. You're all I've got. You're all I want. Back in the day, complications never wore my patience. I was always ready to play. Why face the day in the sunshine in LA? We hit the beach and rode the waves. I lost my balance, I was faded. I was trapped and wrapped up in a scene that was never really me. Plastic lives and starry eyes, and all the freaks were left outside. So I'd look in and wonder why. Where was mine? I couldn't find it. But you're all I've got. You're all I want. Some days it just feels like this will never be enough. Most days it just feels like a struggle to catch up. And I won't mind the day I find what a peace of mind you are. 'Cause life is a wonderful mess. Time to walk away, trade my sunshine in for rain. Same old ways in a different place, but something's changing. I wanted answers and direction. What I got was second guessing, hesitation, no sensation, just more questions. Nothing to blame for being stuck inside this frame of mind. If I can find my way, who I am, what I want, where I'm going, where I was, it's not up to you. I wish there was something you could do, but you're not me, so you can be my and you're all I want. Some days it just feels like this will never be enough.
What do we got? What do we got?
Most days it just feels like I struggle to catch up. And I won't mind the day I find what a peace of mind you are. 'Cause life is a wonderful man. You're all I've got. You're all I want. You're all I've got. You're all I want.
Ho, let's go. Right? How many albums have you made and who is your guitarist? So, before we get into the Anna thing, I'll answer that question. So I was the guitarist and the singer and the songwriter of my musical things. And then if you go down into the description and you look at Let Go Afterglow on that album, I played all of the instruments on it. But so I was the singer and the guitarist, right? And the principal songwriter. So yeah, so as the number of albums I made, like I made an album with a band called Soul Driver called Circus Freak. Then I did a compilation CD with 3 songs with a different version of Soul Driver. Then I did an album, a 3-song demo for Columbia Records with a different incarnation of Soul Driver. Then I did a 5-song EP for my band Full Blown Red. Then I moved to Portland after a tour with that band. The whole band moved here, and then we broke up. And then I had a version of Full Blown Red here in Portland, and we never finished our album. Then I went solo acoustic for a while. Then I started a recording studio in my house. Then I made a record. I made a 3-song demo with Number 3 Breakdown. That's the song you just heard. Wonderful Mess was from that demo. Then that band, Number 3 Breakdown, went into Jackpot Studios with Larry Crane, and we made a whole record. But then I quit the band, and I pulled the plug on the record right before recording the vocals because I was just uninspired. And then I quit music for a couple months, and then I started my solo project. I did the album Let Go Afterglow, where I played all of the instruments, and then I toured the country for 2 years till my son was born. Then I fell apart and went back to doing cocaine for like a year and like had to get sober. And then 2 years after that, I put together a 3-piece version of The Wanteds, and I recorded the album Failure Looks So Good, also down in the description. And that album we recorded live to 2-inch tape in this killer studio, and we started touring that album. And then I was like, you know, this is the album I always wanted to make, but unfortunately I made it when I was like 38 instead of 28. So then I quit music having made the album I always wanted to make. And then I went to film school at 40. And there you go. And then I started directing music videos and commercials, and I won some awards back there. And then I started acting in the theater and film, and then I quit my job to become a director, and I made some movies and TV shit, and I failed at that. And then ultimately I got really depressed, and my kid taught me how to play Fortnite, and then I started streaming Fortnite, and then I got famous. And then I went up against Andrew Tate, and I got canceled, and then I became a political content creator. And here we are. Dude, what the fuck, bro? So I guess, you know, if you follow your heart and you just do the shit you love, like, you're gonna get somewhere. right? That's my thing. You're gonna get somewhere, boss. All right, but there you go. Dude, should I make a short? I'll make a short of that. Right? Ethan said, I'm going back to school for bachelor's in digital media at 40. What was it like going back to school at 40? Ethan, let me tell you, going back to school at 40 was weird, dude. I was in an art school and a film school that was all like 18-year-old kids. So it was bizarre because I had no social connection with them. But it was kind of cool that I had like this fatherly advice connection with them. But for me, though, what I did was I went and I only went for a year. And then I as soon as I started making money in the film industry, I quit school, right? Because I already sort of knew how to like make media. The one thing it did get me, though, is it taught me how to get into editing. And then, you know, I had this experience. I'll tell you about this real quick. But so I went back to this film school and I was obsessed with editing, right? And then I started looking at DVDs and I started noticing the editors' names of my favorite films. And I really like David Fincher. And so I found this editor that had worked with Fincher on The Game and on Fight Club. And I found him on Facebook and I sent him a message. And I was like, hey, man, I'm late in life. I went back to college. I was a musician. I'm studying editing. I'd love to pick your brain. And he and I developed a friendship. And when I was in LA, he took me into the Tron editing room and like showed me rough cuts and shit. And like he totally kind of mentored me about editing, you know, as I was learning it. And it was really helpful. So my advice is, my thing about going back to school as an older person with media is it's really what you're going to learn in the classroom is not really that important. I feel like what's important is the connections, the people you meet or discover while you're on that path, right? Because I went to film school and I met some people in there that led me to work in the industry. And then that led me to like seek out that editor. And he like taught me a lot and like was a soundboard for a lot. So I really think the networking and the sort of curiosity and investigation is really the important part, right? That's how I look at it. But it was hard though. It was hard being 40 and they're all young because like I couldn't really have a social life with them really because, you know, it would have been weird, right? All right. Last question I'm going to answer and then we got to do the end of shit. Let's go. Stephanie says, rip Scully Bones Jones, 2008 to 2026, 18 years together. You were the best, prettiest rose tarantula ever. To be happy she had a long, happy white punks. Oh my God, the tarantula died. I remember my tarantula was named Jaffe Ryder after the 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗡 character. And I remember when my tarantula died, it was really crazy. But all right, so the guitars. Here's the guitars, guys. My first guitar was a Fender Stratocaster. I used that one for a while. Then eventually I replaced it with an Epiphone Les Paul, a purple one, but it was like wood grain. It wasn't painted. It was like a stained purple wood so you could see the wood grain under it. And I used the Epiphone Les Paul until the neck broke twice. It broke. I repaired it and then it broke again. And then I had a Jaguar and a Fender Jaguar with a Tune-o-matic bridge. I took the Tune-o-matic bridge from a Les Paul and I had it installed. I locked the tremolo, no tremolo, and I put a Tune-o-matic on there because I was a little aggressive with my strumming, and that stayed in tune. A Jaguar with a Tune-o-matic and a locked tremolo, like it stays in tune really well. And so a Jaguar became my main guitar, and then I had a Squier Jag Master that had a tremolo bar. That was my secondary guitar. And those two were my primary guitars for many years. And then I eventually did an Epiphone Gretsch hollow body, a fake Gretsch, an Epiphone Gretsch, Epiphone hollow body like a Gretsch. I did one of those during a later incarnation. And then the guitar I used last was the guitar I used last was a Gibson SG. My last setup was an AB switch with a Gibson SG, and I had a Fender 410 amp and a 115 cabinet, and then I had a Mesa Boogie amp, and I used an AB switch that did various combinations of those, and that was with a Gibson SG. So those were my guitars over the years, right? I went from like, you know, I got a little crunchier and like less effects. Like I used less effects as I got older, and I became more about different amp sounds and textures. And I was always a huge fan of the Big Muff distortion pedal. I used the Big Muff a lot, and I used a lot of digital delays and some old phasers. I had an MXR phaser and that I used quite a bit, right? So there you go. That's a brief guitar history for you guys, right? And then acoustic wise, I had a fucking Cayman. What, I can't remember. Ovation. I had an imitation Ovation acoustic electric with a cutaway. Then I got a Tacoma, a local Tacoma Dreadnought. That's that one. That's in the right there. That's a Tacoma made here in the Pacific Northwest that I used. I took that on tour. And then I had a Baby Taylor that was incredible sounding, but I gave that to my son when he moved to New York City because I don't really play guitar anymore. So I gave him the Baby Taylor and was like, happy moving present. Enjoy. And so he's now playing that and loving it and getting very good in New York City on that guitar. So I gave it away. And I gave my Ovation acoustic electric away to a guy who taught me how to make websites and taught me some fucking computer skills in the early 2000s. A guy that came into my bar, he taught me a whole bunch about how to, like, you know, do shit that helped my band. And so I gave him this beautiful Ovation acoustic guitar that he really loved that was like blue. And I was like, dude, here, have it, right? Because he helped me out, right? He gave me something that was far more valuable, and he loved that guitar. All right. So there you go. And now I still have, in the basement, I still have my original Jaguar and my SG I have down in the basement, right? You know, you have a blue Sunburst acoustic. Nice. Yeah. My favorite guitar though was always the Jaguar. It really was. The Fender Jaguar, that was my favorite one. Just a lot of different sounds. What year is it? I don't know. I mean, I got it in the 90s, right? It was in the 90s. You know, I was not like a super guitar aficionado. I mean, I knew somebody that, you know, worked at Guitar Center, and I used to just go in there and he would bring me like every guitar in the store, and I would just pick something that felt good. Like for me, it's a vibe, right? I don't really care about like cheap or fancy or years or all that. For me, it's kind of the vibe of the fingers. Like it's how the fretboard feels. I think I have their rosewood fretboards appear to like be something that like tickles my fingers. But for me, it was mostly about the fretboard and humbuckers. I always put humbucker pickups. I get rid of the single coils. In the Jaguars, I put some good stacked humbuckers because I did like the meaty pickups, right? I like the meaty humbucker pickups always. And you know, but I like the Jaguars though because there were a lot of switches that you could dial up and 2 different volume controls. All right. But anyway, now let's get into this. All right. We had a little musical interlude there. Right. But I was like, you know, for me, it was just vibes, right? Vibes. And the acoustic guitars, I think I was a little more persnickety about. right? You know, cause like with a guitar, you can put any guitar through an amp and you can sculpt it with EQs and distortion pedals and all that shit, or add a chorus to it, right? So for me, the guitar, the electric guitars were more about the feel of the fretboard, but acoustics are where I get like persnickety, because acoustics are like, dude, the wood is all you got, boss. You know what I'm saying? Like an acoustic, the wood that shit's made out of, and whether that shit is like handmade or made in a factory, is a huge difference to the sound and the resonance and shit. So acoustic guitars, you gotta like those. That's why I Tacoma was really like, my Tacoma was amazing. They're local, handmade here in the Northwest, and they're made with like Northwest wood. Really good guitars. They're really good. They're really like, I don't know, they're nimble. Okay. And the Taylor too, the Taylor, the mini baby Taylor I had was like, oh, the one I gave my kid was so rich, guys. Rich, right? Rich. I like the deep bassy. I like the robust. All right. That's what I like. All right, you ready? Here we go. Let's get in here, guys. We're going to wind down with a little bit of 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗃 and Candace Owens. I didn't get to see the end of this interview. We watched like the first half. And so let's see what we got
Charlie
here.
needed a rabbi, a priest, and a pastor. I kid you not, in the 48 hours later.
All right, let me see here.
Here you are. That the FBI said, oh, well, if Erica's emotional and looking for it, here you go. None of it really makes any sense.
Okay, I have so many questions. Okay, for our audience members, let them know who Frank Turek is, because they might not be familiar. Like, what is
so Frank Turek is one of about 20 people who claim that they were Charlie's personal pastor. I find that to be very strange as well. He was with Charlie in the days leading up in Arizona. And for some reason, Charlie needed a rabbi, a priest, and a pastor. I kid you not, in the 48 hours leading up. And they all say that it was because he just wanted to strengthen his debate skills, something that Charlie's been doing for 10 years. He just really wanted to work on his debate skills. Anyway, Frank Turek accompanies Charlie to this event, which is obscure to me that he would be doing that. And then he's kind of filming on his phone, says that he's on FaceTime, rather, is what he says, with his grown adult 35-year-old kids in the middle of a day, because they just love Charlie Kirk so much and they want to hear him speak. And mind you, that son that he's referring to, I'm pretty sure, is in the military. And the shot happens and Frank Turek jumps into the back of the car to accompany Charlie to the hospital. And he did a media blitz thereafter and told a lot of stories about what he did in the car, and spoke about this necklace that Charlie was wearing and how it was just sitting on his backpack when he was at the car. And the Fed said to him, oh, there it is. What do you mean, oh, there it is? How did the Feds know that Charlie was wearing a necklace? There it is. Why were they looking for Charlie's necklace? These are all sorts of unanswered questions that we are asking. Like, why were the Feds looking for it? Why were you looking for it? Why did Erica want it? Why couldn't this have gone into evidence first and been returned to her at a later date? And I'm told by police officers the usual process is they take everything and then the Attorney General of the state has to sign off if you want anything personal back. For some reason, they violated all of that for Erica, allegedly. We did see her holding it the very same day. So,
dude, every single thing about the way this like Charlie Kirk thing was handled was like off. Everything from TPUSA, removing the SD card, from people seeing the shot and walking away and getting on their phones, texting people, like no police tape around the thing. Nobody cordoned off the area. They didn't take Charlie in an ambulance. They put him in this fucking SUV. The medical the medical team never gave a press conference. The FBI never gave a press conference, or the cops, the investigators. It was the fucking governor running around. It was a leftist building a narrative. Like, everything about it was just so off. And then beyond that, all of the people at TPUSA giving contradictory stories, telling lies, Erica Kirk dancing, fake tears, JD Vance holding the head, the leather pants, the pyrotechnics. It's like the whole fucking thing. You know, Benjamin Netanyahu, we did not kill Charlie. Let me make a video. Oh, I did not kill Charlie. Then paying $7,000 to influencers to say good shit about Israel, like the whole thing, the paving over. Dude, the whole thing. Erica Kirk with the beads and the hands and the I love you and the fucking, all the fucking, I'm gonna terror the world, right? The whole thing is fucked up, bro. The everything from top to bottom was abnormal, was reeking of guilt and conspiracy and weirdness, and like they fucking knew. They knew. Somebody did this, and everybody was in on the media campaign behind it. It was like a takeover of TPUSA, right? The whole fucking thing, man. Yeah, destroying evidence. Dude, this shit is crazy, right? Just fucking, man, it's unreal how crazy this shit was, right? Unreal.
I also don't understand, and there might be a reasonable explanation. You would know better than me because you've done so many of these types of events alongside Charlie. After Charlie is allegedly shot, why is he being transported to the hospital in an SUV as opposed to an ambulance? Like, doesn't Turning Point USA usually have like an ambulance nearby?
Dude,
in case
there was
happens?
one right there.
Every single event that I have done has had an ambulance on the side. This is brand new. I mean, everything that day was brand new. I showed how I even texted, like Terrell didn't come to the events. Terrell didn't sit to the side of us. All of that started, and I describe it as sort of boiling the frog. Ironically, the one time, the one semester, so to speak, that I did not go on tour with Charlie, everything changed. Then I have him up on a platform. They have him wearing this double mic. They have this camera behind his head. We never had cameras behind our head. You can go back and find the footage. I mean, I have toured with Charlie from 2019 until spring of 2024. I mean, really appreciate how many tour stops I've done with Charlie. And so I was able to immediately look at the situation and go, what is this? What is all of this? Why is Terrell there? My first question. What is Terrell doing here? He does the big events. He's the CEO of the audiovisual company. This is like a chump change event. I've done UVU with Charlie before, literally have done that exact school. You can go find the footage. What are we doing here? And and Terrell said to me on the phone, we were trying something new. He kept saying that we were trying something new. What was new that you were trying? He said we wanted immediate, feedback back to the ops back home, so we could cut clips the fastest. Like someone's racing to beat Turning Point at cutting these clips, and so it makes me uncomfortable that there were so many admitted by Terrell new fixtures immediately as they got me out of the picture, putting pressure on Charlie regarding Tucker Carlson as well as me, following my firing from the Daily Wire. And then a year later, Charlie's dead. That doesn't sit right with me.
Dude, so weird. Dude, Drew Ladd, let's go, baby. Oh, thank you, boss. Appreciate you. And let's go. Just so you guys know too, we did make the goal. All right, we made the overtime goal. So the dance party's coming.
It just doesn't sit right with me. And again, you can look at every piece of this objectively and go, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. And why do we have Turning Point unwilling to offer information that could help make it make sense?
Yeah, that's the part of this that's so strange to me, Candace, because it's usually the same group of people who are like, oh, there's nothing to see here when it comes to the Epstein files. Usually people who defend Israel's undue influence over our government and the wars that we fight on their behalf. It's always the same group of people who are not only hounding you and just trying to make you out to be crazy, while, by the way, totally ignoring your arguments, never engaging in the substance of what you're saying. They just try to defame you. Okay, it is what it is. But what's strange to me is, don't you want these questions answered? Like, don't you want to get to the bottom of what actually happened that day? Very likely that Tyler Robinson is involved in some way. Is he the only person involved?
And I've been saying that.
You have been saying that. Yes, you have been saying that. Yeah.
Like, I've never said I think he's completely innocent. I say I do not believe he fired a shot and killed Charlie Kirk. So for what is being brought against him, I think he is innocent of. Could he be an accessory to murder? Was he burying clothes and hiding it, taking instruction from his boyfriend? I know he was around campus that day. I was told by a Robinson family member that he did not step foot on campus that day. And so, yeah, I feel like it's not like we're being crazy here. We're asking Turning Point to help assist us. And the most disturbing part of all of this for me is that his wife is not telling the public the truth about so many things that she could easily tell the truth about. And this is not some widow that went home and is averse to publicity. If she was like, I don't care, I'm not.
Dude, she became a camera hog,
Not getting involved. My focus is my children, and I'm camera shy, so to speak. You'd be like, okay, well, that's just who she is.
Well,
no, she's on tours. She's Shabbat and she's Shalom. She's talking to everybody.
Dude,
you can't keep her away. She went right into the
Shabbat
office
Shalom.
that week and led a call giggling about emojis. How are you out of bed? I'm sorry. Like, are you trying to tell us that it's not reasonable for us to expect you to mourn longer than 72 hours? The world who did not know him mourned longer. People who did not like Charlie Kirk mourned longer, and just because it was so traumatizing. I think everyone felt less safe after Charlie got hit.
I wouldn't call it mourning for those of us who didn't like it. That's not the word I would use, but there was a period that was, what we were doing was longer than 72 hours. I will say that, but mourning, it's not really what I did.
I felt this like suddenly so insecure to go outside. She sits down with Jesse Waters and she says, he's like, were you scared? She's like, no, God's got me. He's like, have you lost sleep? She's like, no. Are you taking any medicine? I don't need any medicine. It's great. It's like, okay, you're Superwoman, I guess, or something. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right to me. And I have a right to form an opinion on Erica based on her public actions.
You know what's interesting, guys, that I will say about like Charlie Kirk is obviously like watching that footage on repeat, watching it and like seeing it was all very shocking and like PTSD inducing. But I had a greater sort of like, I don't know, karmic, like relationship to the universe sort of like moment where I felt like it was such a brutal and aggressive and jarring like act of violence. And yet it's like the disruption it caused, the disruption in the right-wing political ecosphere, the chasm it caused in like the MAGA coalition, and the sort of like jarring, aggressive, like ripping of the reality of these like right-wing power brokers where they had just won this election and everybody felt so fearless and they were aggressively like trying to plow us with fascism, that the eruption of that violent act felt like a type of like equalizer in the fabric of humanity, where it was like, God, fascism isn't going to win. And like these dark forces of trying to oppress us and control us with religion, like it's not going to win. It was like that shot ringing out reminded the world that there are forces bigger than like, these tech military industrial complex overlords trying to control us all, that the world is in fact uncontrollable and explosive in a way that can just change the fabric of history at any given moment. And I felt as hideous as it was to watch that take place, it was also a sign that like a great healing is coming, you know, that like, you know, sometimes those incredibly jarring and just mind-blowing acts of chaos and negativity are the things that start to heal. Because, guys, up to that moment, it felt like a lot of, you know, the Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, like they thought they were untouchable, out of control. And I felt like all of that shit, like Project 2025 got humbled in that moment. And then everything spiraled. Next thing you know, ICE was like murdering citizens. And then all these people were getting fired. And then we spiraled into a war. But everything, you know, they were like this well-oiled, like, we're going to take over the fucking country with our religion machine. And then it all got blown to shreds. And in that moment, everything fractured and fucking fell apart, right? And so, right? And so that to me was like, it was like a huge negative that also felt like it was going to lead to something, you know, like far more positive down the road after the dust settled, you know, and I don't know, it's weird. It's weird because it felt like a, you know, like sometimes, you know, there are these things that happen that feel like resets, right? Where things get out of control for a while. And then, you know, like even when you look at like Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, like dying and us watching that in this incredibly traumatic event, and then the protests that sometimes got a little bit ebullient, but like that was like a reaction to Trump's racism, okay? It was like Trump's racism and Trump's fucking shittiness is what fucking killed George Floyd and Philando Castile, right? It wasn't him individually, but it was like his nasty racism like led to that brutal event that then fucking ushered in this wave of change. And I, like, regardless of whether Black Lives Matter won or lost, or the fact that woke, you know, whatever woke, like, retreaded a bit, I became a different person from the George Floyd incident. Like, I was a different person. I became more of an activist. I became more concerned politically. I became more willing to use my voice and to stand tall after that. And you know, and like, so these like crazy traumatic events like are like social revolutions for the people who witness them. You know, they can be like incredibly expansive. You know, it's like, it's wild, you know? I mean, it's pretty crazy shit, dude. But there's no doubt to me that unwittingly, whatever people intended, whatever the intention was with the Charlie Kirk thing, between the Charlie Kirk thing and the Epstein files, like that ended the MAGA movement. That ended all of that. It like completely changed the course of history, guys. Like a movement that had so much power. There was such a juggernaut behind that shit. And the Charlie Kirk tragedy like completely like blew up that juggernaut. Completely turned it from a juggernaut to like a go-kart. Like that in like an instant, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, dude.
Well, one of the actions that honestly made me a lot more critical of Erica Kirk came up in the context of your debate with Andrew Wilson, because he opened the debate by reading an alleged text message that Charlie Kirk sent. And just to kind of sum it up, and I'm not reading it verbatim, I want the audience to know that, you know, Charlie Kirk communicated in that alleged text message that he wanted the security to be bolstered because he's worried about someone on the left trying to kill him. which is strange because that was allegedly a text message that Turning Point USA, it could have only been one person, Erica Kirk, because she's the one with his phone. She provided that to Andrew Wilson. Okay, first of all, why are we hearing about this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
Why are we hearing about
a
this
year
now?
later?
And if that text message is real, if it really does exist, wouldn't you want to put that out immediately? Because she has 100.
I mean, wouldn't she have put it out back when Spencer Cox was spinning this leftist, right? This leftist narrative? I don't know. None of this shit's believable.
Backed the theory that Tyler Robinson was the one who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, and that he was motivated by Charlie Kirk's views on the transgender community, right? That this was motivated by left-wing hatred of Charlie Kirk. Okay, wouldn't you want to release that text message immediately then? She didn't.
Right,
She
proves
waited.
your point.
So there's that. But also, Candace, I recall Erica Kirk saying in an interview that he sent no text messages saying that he feared for his life. Now, that was in the context of people speculating that he was in fear of Israel coming after him. And so she's like, no, I have his phone. He never texted anything about being in fear of getting killed. Okay, well, what changed? Because now all of a sudden there's this text message that alleges that he was afraid of someone on the left trying to kill him. I don't know. That inconsistency is really weird to me and shows a little bit of dishonesty that's gonna make people question anything that, is gonna be claimed moving forward.
Dude, they've lied so much. Everyone around TPUSA has lied about this. They have lied so much, guys. All of them. Erica Kirk has lied and lied and lied. Dude, Andrew Colvett, Tyler Boyer, they have lied. I mean, they were liars before when they were like creating the fake electors for Trump and shit. But dude, they lied so much. Okay, yeah, this is the brides of Tucker Carlson, guys. That's who we're witnessing right here, right? Dude, they're such liars, though. Erica Kirk, like such fucking crazy lies. Everybody, and they kept changing their stories about Charlie. And just so bizarre.
But I want to keep going because there's so much to get to. We're not going to get to all of it, but I do think this is like the super important stuff. Now, there's the 𝗙𝗪𝗪. I'm not a ballistics expert. And so I had no choice but to kind of defer to what the experts were saying. Most experts were saying, you get shot in the neck with a 𝗙𝗪𝗪, there's no way that there isn't an exit wound, okay?
Yeah.
There's no way that you don't like blow someone's head off.
There's not going to be a head,
and
I think.
Then you have like a few people who come out and they're like, no, it could happen, totally. I mean, it's totally possible that the bullet wouldn't, there wouldn't be an exit wound. Okay, I don't know. I'm not the expert. I don't know what to believe. Then you have Robert O'Neill. If you're unfamiliar with Robert O'Neill, he's the guy, the Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden. So he's a bit of a ballistics expert, okay? He's been kind of sounding the alarm about the allegations in the official narrative, and I just want to show the audience a little piece of what he had to say on Piers Morgan.
So where'd that bullet come from? You don't bleed like, and I've shot guys closer than the camera was. And an entry wound doesn't look like that, an exit wound does. Why did his shirt move the way it did? When I've shot people, their shirts didn't move like that. And then the initial reaction was, well, he was obviously wearing body armor and it was deflection. One, no, he wasn't wearing body armor. And two, it doesn't deflect like that off of body armor. Why was his shirt moving from right to left? Why were people being interviewed saying, yeah, they came from my left to right, from his right to left, immediately shut down? And then did they tear the crime scene down immediately?
If you were dismantling this precise rifle, how long would it take you to do it?
A 30-06, well, it's going to take several minutes. I can't even remember I grew up, my first rifle was a 30-06 in Montana, and I can't remember the last time I took it apart. I could take the bolt out, clean that off, but in order to break it down to the point where you can even walk with a limp, it's going to take a solid 5 minutes, I would guess.
Dude, that's crazy.
Okay, so I wanted you to comment on—
Dude, that's crazy, right? That is wild. I mean, he's definitely has had some experience offing people
what he had to say about dismantling the weapon, because I don't think people are really paying attention to the absurdity of the claim regarding the weapon used and how Tyler Robinson allegedly dismantled it.
Well, so we are to believe that he stuck the weapon into his pants, and it was a part, okay? So he presumably had one part in his backpack and then had the weapon in his pants, but it was disassembled. And then he gets onto the rooftop and takes out a screwdriver, and they don't have footage of this, but they want you to assume that when he ducks down, he then spends time reassembling the rifle. Now, I have done a minimal amount of hunting. Yes, I have shot and killed animals. When you do that, the part that he didn't even get to is the scope, which is needed to look through. You would have to zero the scope, meaning you'd have to fire a bullet to make the scope work again.
Yeah, see, that to me was always the craziest thing, right? Is you cannot, you ready? And hear me out on this. I don't care who the fuck you are. You cannot pull a gun out of your pants and put a scope on there and fire a single shot and hit somebody precisely in the neck without fucking calibrating that scope. And calibrating that scope could mean, I don't know, three to 5 shots. But there is no way you are just popping a scope on a rifle that's been in your clothing jostling around, and you're gonna just pop that on there and hit one perfect shot with the scope. No fucking way, bro. Not gonna happen. Not a chance in hell, bro. Right? I just don't believe that for a minute, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like you need to fucking calibrate scopes. You do need to calibrate scopes, right?
Think of it like as a compass. You have to zero it to make it work again. So he didn't fire a bullet to test. You can't. If you took it apart, the scope would just be completely messed up. A 30-06. I mean, it would decapitate you. There's no other way to say it. Even if you tried to pass the idea that there was some miracle and he had a steel neck, there's actually a YouTuber named 𝗟𝗏𝗏 who was like, hey, let's actually pretend he had a steel neck. Let's take it at face value. And he shot from that distance a piece of steel. And it went through. Okay, so even if Charlie had a steel neck, it would have gone through. There are people who have replicated this experiment, said, I cannot get this to happen. I've done this 500 times. I'm not saying one way or the other what happened. I'm just stating that this did not happen. And even Turning Point USA, when they introduced that, they say it was a miracle. Now, the only time, when they first acknowledged that it didn't go through, and this is why I do think that part of the reason they removed that footage was because it was never supposed to see the light of day. And we were supposed to assume that it went through because everyone would have made that assumption. And Terrell showed me the footage.
Okay, okay. Tell us what you saw.
That's how this started. When he called me after on the 18th, and I was like, you're acting really weird. Like, you're just acting weird. Everything you're saying is weird, Terrell. What is going on? Like, help me help you. The next day he called me on the 19th and he said, okay, I'll just show you the footage on FaceTime. And thank goodness someone on my team said, Candace, just screen record the conversation. You just don't know, just screen record the conversation. And I did. And when I looked at it, I was then even more shocked at the fact that Terrell wouldn't show this footage because there was no gore. It was the cleanest footage. We already saw him get hit by the front. So I'm going, why are you not showing this footage? It didn't go through. There's no blood. Charlie goes down to the side. What is happening here? And immediately after that, my husband gets a phone call from the COO of Turning Point USA. And they're like, did Candace record the footage? Did Candace record the footage? And I learned, and I will say allegedly here, that the reason that they were asking was because the feds were freaking out about the fact that I shared on my show that I had seen the footage. And they were saying, you need to find out if she recorded it. Okay. And I wouldn't answer because I'm going, why does it matter? One way or the other, why does it actually matter? And this is why it matters, because it proved that it didn't go through. So the next day they like panicked and they just, on the same day, they panicked and they sent out a tweet. Andrew sends out this tweet and says, oh, we just now kind of wanted to announce to the world this miracle happened and Charlie ate healthy. And the surgeon said it's because he's got strong bones and he eats salad. And
see, that was another thing, guys. That I don't know if you remember that tweet with Andrew 𝗙𝗪𝗓, who, by the way, is a known liar. but Andrew 𝗙𝗏 wrote this crazy tweet about the magic neck, but he said that he spoke to the surgeon and the surgeon explained this thing about the neck. But guys, there's no way that that happened, okay? Because of medical privacy laws, the surgeon who operated on Charlie Kirk could not talk about the specifics of the operation on Charlie with Charlie's fucking business partner. There's no way, dude. Like, there's no fucking way that guy could have told it to Erica, but there's no way that he would go and get on the phone with some random business partner at TPUSA and say, let me tell you about the surgery. Here's how it went down. Dude, are you fucking shitting me? No. No, 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 dude. No. It never happened.
You know, I guess he's Popeye the Sailor Man or something. And
he's so strong that the bullet doesn't even like push his body backwards. At all. Like
that is 2,000 pounds of force coming at you. Okay, like didn't blow him backwards. Didn't, even if you said it didn't go through, he'd be decapitated by the front. And I do want to say this, Anna, because I think people have forgotten this most crucial element. I did not suspect Turning Point USA at all. So on that day, I was one of the people that was on the phone talking to Andrew 𝗙𝗏 when they were in the hospital. Andrew 𝗙𝗏 told me that Charlie had virtually no neck left, okay? And strangely, that same thing was told to Tucker Carlson, because the only people I spoke to that day were Andrew 𝗙𝗏 and Tucker Carlson. And like, I was like crying on the phone, like what's going on, all of this stuff. And then my husband was told separately. So 3 different people communicated to us that Charlie basically had no neck left, okay? And when I run that back in my head, I realized that that was the intention, was to say that it went through and it like ate his entire neck. Until I saw the footage, and then until I had a source who dealt with Charlie's body and said that's simply not true.
That's
Charlie
crazy.
really just had a small wound, and I know it looked bad from the front, but it happened to hit his carotid artery. Which
they're changing the stories left and right. Now, I will say this: when I saw the video with the sort of the pinprick, what looked like a pinprick, and then the gushing of blood, and obviously hitting the fucking arteries in the neck, I thought it was a dart, okay? I thought it was some type of like pencil dart, right? Some type of projectile, like well-placed dart that was fired specifically at that artery. That's what I thought. That's what it looked like. It looked like a type of like the kind of dart you would use for like a silent, a silent assassination where you're not wanting to give away your position or whatever, right? Where somebody was going to fire that dart and then just walk out of there and nobody would even know where it came from. That's what it looked like to me, It looked like a fucking very precise, professionally calibrated, surgical fucking dart that was put right into the important machinery in the neck. And it just went in, separated, end, right? A very specific, You know what I'm saying? And I would also, though, to address what you just said, Crash Burn, that thing wouldn't have come from 200 yards away, okay? That thing would have come from like, I don't know, 50 feet or something, right? 50 feet. Now, like I've heard the people say a road mic bomb, but bombs explode, okay? A bomb would not produce that type of pinprick sort of like wound. A bomb would have like caused a bunch of wreckage. Bombs explode. They like make shit, shrapnel and shit, okay? Shrapnel fucking, like everybody around him would have gotten hit by shit. if there was a bomb. This felt like something that came from, you know, it's like, did Tyler fire a shot into the air? Or right? And somebody fired a shot right when they were, you know, when they were fucking, somebody fired a dart, right? I don't know.
Which was completely blasted out, whatever it was that hit him. And that's why the blood looked really bad. But Charlie looked good. He looked good in the casket.
That's insane. Yeah.
So I revisit that, okay? I revisit that and I go, were they trying to establish a narrative that I accidentally, this is their anger at me. They're so angry at me. I don't know where it's coming from. And I accidentally ruined this idea that the 𝗙𝗪𝗏 went through. Tara was supposed to take the footage. Again, I am being a conspiracy theorist, I guess. I'm saying all this allegedly in my opinion, but also in my experience of what happened that day, what I was told, and what I have since learned is completely untrue. I'm so bothered by it all.
Yeah. And increasingly with like the case that you're making, and I want to be clear with the audience about something else as well, because I think a lot of people are putting words in your mouth, and I think that's unfair to you, right? So for instance, people are accusing you of accusing Erica Kirk of killing Charlie Kirk, but you have accused Erica Kirk of being complicit in perpetuating this narrative that's kind of being forced upon us about like, this is what happened, this is what Tyler Robinson was motivated by. Ignore all of the material and evidence that really does cast doubt on the official narrative. And I want to show one other thing real quick. During the preliminary hearing, this is like so shocking, and the fact that it's not getting any pickup in legacy media boggles the mind, or maybe it doesn't. During the preliminary hearing, some of the evidence that was so overwhelming, as the influencers said after attending the hearing and you know, sharing their thoughts on it. One piece of evidence was the image that allegedly showed Tyler Robinson. But that image was manipulated. The courtroom saw a manipulated image. So let me show.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. They AI'd an image.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's go to this graphic. At the top, you're gonna see the unmanipulated image of who is supposed to be Tyler Robinson. The bottom image is what the court saw during the preliminary hearing.
Dude.
Which is obviously a manipulated image.
So
I mean, and you
crazy.
can tell it's manipulated based on the cars that are distorted in the background.
See, what's weird about this is this is making him skinnier to look like Tyler, but this guy's a little beefier. Now, I've shown this before of Erica Kirk's brother. Okay? This guy. It's her half brother. Dude, this shit is weird. Oh, it's not fucking coming up though. This is crazy. This is 𝗙𝗪𝗏. That's weird, dude, that the search is not doing it right. But this is Erica Kirk's half brother who looks a little bit like the fucking guy in the stairwell, right? It's pretty weird, guys. He looks like he could be the dude in the stairwell as well, right? Dude, you think they're all Epstein babies? They could be.
Now, as we all know, Tyler Robinson is a very skinny guy, okay? Let's take a look at the next image, side by side of Tyler Robinson on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side is the unmanipulated image that was not shown in court. The manipulated image was shown in court, but this is the unmanipulated image, which obviously shows a guy who doesn't look like Tyler Robinson and doesn't have the body type that Tyler Robinson has.
Crazy.
Right.
So why?
Why?
All we can do is speculate why, right? But how is that allowed? How is that okay? And why is no one talking about this?
These are the questions that we have that should be answered. Definitively, they changed the aspect ratio. Now, we don't know if the courts did that. Did the sheriff's office do that? Did the SBI do that? I'm told that the courts cannot do that. I got some tips from people saying we absolutely could not be, we would not be allowed to do this. We can't touch anything. This would have been given to the courts, which would demonstrate that someone policing, whether it's the SBI or the sheriff's office or the federal FBI, if they're the ones that are getting their hands in this, have decided to change the aspect ratio to also degrade the images that we are seeing. It makes no sense. Once they showed the footage, the surveillance footage during the preliminary hearing, you then go to yourself, okay, they started grabbing this footage according to the preliminary hearing by 1:30. They were on the ground. They all had their roles. 𝗙cie𝗶𝗵, this is a manhunt. Why didn't you release the footage, the clearer footage, which you showed at court, immediately to help people find Tyler Robinson or find Charlie's killer? Why didn't they release more? They had more. They had access to more.
Remember how bizarre it was? How they like grabbed that Zinn guy who with his pants down and shit. Remember? They grabbed the old guy that looked like a Seinfeld character with a fucking, his pants were falling down. And then Cash was like, we got this guy. No, we don't got this guy. Yeah, no, we got him again. No, we had the wrong guy. We don't know anything. Dude, Sophie Great White, nope. Cunningham, yes, 2 points. History buff. Dude, again, disaster. The whole thing was a fucking shit show.
But they sort of held on to this, released something extremely blurry, and now they're changing the aspect ratio. And simultaneously, they're taking influencers to court to tell us that the evidence is so overwhelming, but they can't show us one clear image of Tyler Robinson on campus. Does that make sense? This is your time. It's a preliminary hearing. You can establish, you're trying to establish probable cause to move forward. Drop a clear photo of him and say, here you go. There's Tyler Robinson. I would have immediately said, oh, well, there it is. There is Tyler Robinson. I can't even meaningfully say that. I think there's a Tyler Robinson. That's a standard white guy with brown hair.
Yeah.
Who's wearing a cap. That's the best I can do.
Yeah. And, one
could
of the other.
Tyler Robinson. It could not be Tyler Robinson.
This is insane. Honestly, it's crazy. Okay, so there's more. The other thing that came out during the preliminary hearing was Lance Twiggs's testimony, which is super important. So Lance Twiggs is allegedly Tyler Robinson's furry lover, who he loves so much that he felt motivated to gun down Charlie Kirk over his views on transgenderism. Okay, so if you are that obsessed with and motivated to harm people based on a political view, you would discuss that political view at least once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, this ties into that whole leftist thing, right? Because that was the immediate narrative they did, where they were like, this guy's a far leftist. He's like, concerned about Charlie Kirk's anti-trans views. And so he's committing some violence like a trans activist, right? However, yes, transgenderism does not exist. That's fucking bullshit. But here's the deal. You ready? If you really, dude, I defend trans people all the time, right? You want to see my Twitter today, guys? Because of this Sophie Cunningham shit, I have about 20 tweets today about transgender rights and attacking the people with their Save Women's Sports. Every time there's an incident with like Sophie Cunningham or these anti-trans activists, I will be on all my social media flooding that shit. I am constantly fighting that battle, okay? If Tyler Robinson were a trans activist, he would have a fucking trail of activism about this shit somewhere. He would have people in his life where he increasingly was upset about Charlie Kirk's behavior, right? He would have some type of leftist activism somewhere. But there's none of that with this kid. None of it. He had a couple instances of like talking about Joe Biden or in a Discord saying, yeah, I don't like this. He had like 3-4 instances of even mentioning something remotely political. This kid was 0% activist, okay? He was not an activist. He was not a leftist. He was, right? It's like he was none of that, okay? None of that. And so I'm not buying that this kid just silently, like nowhere on the internet, like you'd think he would have a burner account somewhere. Even if it wasn't his own account, he would have like a burner Twitter, right? I mean, there's just no way that somebody's going to be that politically motivated to commit violence and have no paper trail of the political convictions that led them to commit that shit. I just don't believe it, right? I just don't believe it. Dude, May Money, let's go. May Money says, I went on Don Lemon today. All right, I'm getting water safety instructor certificate this weekend to get my bag. Shout out to my black women for being amazing. Let's go, May Money. Dude, that's amazing. Dude, and there we go. History buff, I got you. Sophie the Great White Hope. I know I already said that one. Dude, May Money, that's fucking big. Dude, we love Don Lemon. Let's go. It's amazing. Good for you, boss. Let's fucking go. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing about Tyler, right? Dude, that thing about Tyler, dude, I'm just not buying it, man. I'm not buying the activist. He's definitely wasn't a leftist. All that shit is some bullshit.
Now, the question is, Lance Twiggs was asked during the hearing whether or not he and Tyler Robinson discussed politics. And I thought that his answer was strange, considering what Robinson is accused of doing and what the motive was. Take a look.
Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I still don't really keep up with politics very much. He'd usually talk about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work in like their work car, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car most of the time. But I wouldn't say super consistently, because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
What about Charlie Kirk? Did he ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before specifically.
Okay.
Dude, his like close confidant and or maybe boyfriend or whatever, partner, good friend, never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk specifically. That's wild.
How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
No, not really.
No, not really. I just think, I don't know. This is subjective, obviously. I think that's strange. I think that's super strange.
But it also, it should make you angry, because the Republicans, neocons, took this immediately and said, this is an open and shut case. It was a political assassination based on the views of Charlie Kirk. And it's because people in the LGBTQ community are crazy. And they did this absent any evidence. Absent any evidence, nothing had been confirmed. Funny that they always accuse me of going on vibes. That's fundamentally what they did.
It is very weird.
This narrative was set by a bunch of people who needed it to be true. And now they're being presented with evidence from the person that we are to assume is the closest to him, his boyfriend, who's saying, oh no, he never talked to me about Charlie Kirk. I guess the first time he heard about it was in a text message after he had killed Charlie Kirk. He didn't speak to me about LGBTQ issues, and he didn't talk to me about politics. And then suddenly he's killing a political figure that he never talked about to honor me. I mean, none of that makes any sense.
It's weird.
Other than they were trying to stoke the flames in a war between the left and the right, as they have admitted. They keep admitting this, that they just wanted to unite the Republican Party, which was fractured after the Epstein files, and they wanted to get them refocused on fighting the left. That is disgusting.
I totally
have plenty of
agree.
things in disagreements with the left. Left has done tons of things that they've actually done that we could talk about.
See, you know what's interesting too is when this Charlie Kirk stuff happened, it was during the election. Jay Jones, they were trying to run these ads that Jay Jones was going to kill your kids. And they had Cam Higby and all these people, Katie Davis Court, fucking Nick Sortor. They were sending them to Portland, trying to create violent shit at the ICE detention center in Portland. They were doing it in Chicago. They were doing it in Seattle. They were doing it in LA. They were trying to build this nationwide leftist violence thing in hopes that Donald Trump was going to start arresting people for being Antifa and shit. It was this whole, like, they were trying to gin up this whole thing, man, you know? And it's like, dude, it didn't take at all. Jay Jones won handily, right? I mean, I was here in Portland. They were sending right-wingers here. Dude, I remember that guy, David Medina's the local guy who Benny Johnson was visiting him, and Nick Sortor was visiting him, Katie Davis Court. Dude, all those people blocked me during that 1 month. It was when the Antifa frog was like showing up, right? They were starting all this. And then as soon as Charlie Kirk got shot, they went heavy into it. They were like, you see? Dude, it's just so dirty.
You were going to put like the biggest assassination ever on them just to like repair the party from something that the party should be upset about, like the Epstein files?
I mean, that's definitely a good point. And look, the thing is, they were already making these declarations before any real evidence was presented, before any case played out. And I definitely thought that even if, you know, individuals who perpetuated that narrative weren't in on anything nefarious, it is kind of sick to politicize something like a political assassination as something that is politically beneficial to yourself, right? Like you're pushing a narrative in order to lead to more conflict among Americans based on political identity. I don't know, I thought it was sick, just like I thought it was sick that, you know, a few nobodies online might have been like celebrating that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. That's not representative of the left. I was devastated. No. I disagreed with Charlie Kirk on a lot of political issues, but he was a guy who was willing to sit down and have those conversations and have those debates with us, and I appreciated that. Not a lot of people are willing to defend their, you know, their views and engage in debate in good faith like he did with me and Cenk, both at the DNC and the RNC in 2024. Okay, the final thing that I'll bring—
Dude, they became Charlie Kirk ass kissers, dude.
Up are the text messages, because, you know, one of the things that gets cited by defenders of the official narrative is, well, the text messages exist. Lance Twiggs said that, you know, Tyler Robinson confessed that he did the murder. What do you make of those text messages? And do you think that is enough to claim that there is overwhelming evidence that the official narrative by our government is true?
Absolutely not, because the text messages have not been verified yet. And that was one of the things that if you were paying attention to the case, they were saying, you guys are saying that these messages are real. And Kathy Nestor, back in, I want to say it was May, actually it might have been earlier than May, it might have been April, they had a hearing and she's like, we can't go forward because we haven't even been granted our discovery requests. I haven't even accessed my client's phone. You're telling me that Lance Twiggs is saying this. Well, something that your audience should know is Lance Twiggs was given use immunity for that testimony. What that means in the state of Utah is anything he says in that on that screen as he's giving his video interview cannot be used against him down the line. Like, why did he require use immunity to talk about something that actually happened? Why would he need use immunity? What is the fear here about this particular testimony that he was given this extraordinary use immunity to provide it? And so we do not know if those text messages are real. If they are real, by the way, we don't know where they came from. Like I said during the Andrew Wilson debate, somebody could be in my Apple login right now sending text messages from my phone, but I'm here live with you. That's why they wanted their discovery request, because it would allow them to see, look at the geolocation. Where is it coming from? Did it come from a laptop? Did it come from an actual device? Where was my client actually at that time? You're telling me that his boyfriend is saying that this is what his Discord said, and this is what the text messages said. Well, it tends to be that lovers share logins, right? That's how it goes. They live together, they share logins. Was he on his computer? Lance, to me, is a very suspicious character in all of this because the feds have bent over backward to attack him. And I am on the ground investigating this. I spoke to the Twiggs family, and they were the first ones who told me that they found it to be remarkably suspicious that the feds were not looking further into Twiggs, okay? He has a background, he's got anger issues, he's got, allegedly, he has drug abuse issues, I will say allegedly. He has been passed around the family because of these reasons. He's into weird internet stuff, allegedly. Again, coming from his family's direct testimony, they're going, I don't understand why they are not looking further into him. That's not a good vote of confidence to come from your family that's saying this. And on the other side of this, when I'm speaking to the Robinson family orbit, they're saying the exact opposite. This is not Tyler Robinson. This isn't what he would do. He's had great grades all through school, graduated with, I think, above a 4.0, but we're supposed to believe he texted the most thorough confession that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, walking you through everything he did on that day, down to they caught me on the surveillance cameras. I was hoping I would live this out. This is my motive. This is why I did this. Anybody with any sense would know, don't text that. Anybody would know that.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty weird, right? Dude, it was. It was pretty weird. Dude, we got May Money in here said, why is any of this acceptable? The ladies too. Yeah, I mean, good question, May Money. But the text messages were pretty weird. Like, you guys know when you watch a movie with bad exposition where a character comes in and is like, what were you just doing? Oh, right. Somebody comes in and gives the plot. Oh my God. Like, I just discovered this monster that's been chasing us that was invented by this guy 20 years ago. And that guy now lives 3 doors down, and he's been controlling the monster with this contraption in his backyard. And we have to go defuse it. And they're like, oh, okay, let's go. Right? And you're like, the dude just gave away the whole plot. Right? And so the message after Tyler Robinson supposedly killed Charlie is like, I just killed Charlie Kirk for you. Yes, it was really me. You're going to see me on the cameras at the university. I'm all over the cameras. Just look at the camera footage. You'll notice me. Right? Like, dude, who's doing that? This is like the worst television writing I've ever fucking seen in my life, guys. It is. It is the worst written, like, reality TV show ever. You know, I'm surprised that 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀 didn't find bullets that had, you know, and the entire story, like, written on it. Like, we found a bullet that says I got on the roof and shot him because I'm a trans activist, but I hid my trans activism. And, you know, that's me on the video cameras. And that's me on the camera limping in front of that house. And I'm really sorry, guys. Like, yeah, that's my gun in the bushes. And right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow, that's a good thing you found that bullet. That really clears up a lot of questions we had about the case. Dude, not real.
On your iMessages, it's all just so ridiculous. And so we have no confirmation about these messages because the prosecution, actually, they blamed the feds, would not give certain discovery requests to the SBI or to the prosecution ahead of this probative hearing, which you just saw.
I was led to believe that Tyler Robinson was turned in by his own family. Is that true?
Lie. Absolute lie. His family took him to the police station. And actually, if you go back and look, Sheriff Brooksby's told the truth about what had happened. Essentially, they told him, you have no other option. They're going to arrest you one way or the other. We can do this peaceably or we can do this the hard way, with people banging down the door, you know, whether it's SWAT or whatever units would be doing that. And you would put your family at risk. And he agreed to go in peaceably, which is why you see, even in the little footage that they show, he's coming in, he's still got his phone and he's in his hand during the preliminary hearing. They showed him, and he's got a bottle of water, and he's obviously gone into a room that is essentially, we're gonna speak to you. This is us doing this the nice way, and that was what was agreed to because he had no other option. So obviously, you can see that his parents did not. There's no statements that they mentioned that the parents made, or a sworn affidavit, no signed statements. They did not. That was one of the first things I was told when I started investigating this and got in touch with the Orbit from the Robinson family, was that the media completely lied by suggesting that Matt Robinson turned his son in. No, he went with his son and drove his son to the police department because he had to.
It's amazing, honestly. And look, I don't know a lot about what happened that day, but I do know one thing. Aggravated murder carries an incredibly high burden of proof, and there is a lot of doubt in this case that isn't being addressed at all by your naysayers. And so for anyone who's calling you crazy, anyone who's gonna come at me for drawing attention to what you've been presenting on your show,
dude,
how about just address the substance?
Anna's so funny, dude.
Of the material that's being shared and the arguments that are actually being made. Not arguments that they are putting in your mouth, but arguments that are actually.
Dude, Anna's got to have her little disclaimer of like, don't get mad at me for like participating with Candace. Dude, she is so like incredibly politically homeless and so bothered by it, but she spends so much time trying to like, trying to like, don't give me any pushback. Like, just let me become Tucker Carlson's bride to be, right? She's such a phony.
Actually being made, but they're not. And I think that that is telling. But anyway, Candace, thank you for being so generous with your time and coming on such short notice, because I think.
All right, we don't need to hear a little fucking blah, blah, blah. Guys, I love this shit. I really do. I love this shit. You know what I'm saying? I do. I can't, it's weird because I can't stand Anna and I can't stand Candace. I can't. I don't like either one of them. However, I love gutting MAGA. I love watching Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff and Erica Kirk just running around like chickens with their heads cut off. I love that. I love watching TPUSA's name getting drugged through the dirt. I love watching the MAGA and America Firsters generate new conspiracy theories and new ways to like distrust each other. It is so beautiful. And I love the fact that they're expending a lot of energy just like trying to not hate each other. You know what I'm saying? It's really entertaining, and I feel like it's useful. It is useful at the moment. It is fucking useful, right? I there's not a lot of times that I can like not get annoyed to Anna, but if Anna wants to get in here, and if part of her way of making her way to Tucker Carlson's camp is to set more of the right wing on fire, I mean, I'm here for it, right? I am here for it, guys. MAGA v. MAGA. Mwah! I love it. We love to see it. Dude, we love to see it. And though, I think the other thing about this, for me, is I just don't believe the TPUSA story. They're known liars. Erica has never been grieving. There's been too many lies, too many weird, like, evidence disrupting moves made, too much weird posturing from Spencer Cox and their bullshit leftist narrative and these bullshit messages that are like bad TV writing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the Jaeger cocaine analogy, let's go. Dude, we love to see it. It's a good combo. Dude. But you know what I mean? Everything about this from the minute the details started arriving was just off. It was off. And let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you, okay? The Netanyahu behavior like rattled my insides. Okay? It did. It did, because like there was no strong, like Charlie Kirk did not walk around like Randy Fine or John Fetterman just polishing Netanyahu's knob. Okay? Right? Charlie Kirk did not do that. He was not like that at all. And then as soon as Charlie died, Benjamin Netanyahu like couldn't stop talking about him. And it was like, yo, dude, that's weird. This has never happened. These two guys were not like content creators together. Charlie Kirk, if anything, as of late, had been being really weird and suspicious about Israel. And all of a sudden, Benjamin Netanyahu was like Charlie's biggest mouthpiece. Oh, Israel loved Charlie so much. He was a great friend of Israel, all this weird shit. And then he was making videos. I did not kill Charlie. Oh, what a tragedy. You think I killed Charlie? No, we love Charlie. And I'm like, why is the Prime Minister of Israel making a video saying, yo, we didn't kill this guy, promise? Like, dude, what the fuck was that, boss? That was weird, man. That was some weird shit, guys. Okay? Not normal behavior. That was like, bro, if you didn't think Israel did it before that, the minute he made that video, everyone was thinking, holy shit, dude. I think Israel just fucking off this guy. Right? You know? And then TPUSA turned on a dime. They did. They turned on a dime where all of a sudden they were like, you know, they rebranded Club America. They're pro-Israel. They had this patriotism thing. Erica is like grabbing JD Vance's head with the fucking tech bros. And all of a sudden the whole Zionist family, she goes on Fox News saying Charlie Kirk came in every Friday, dropped his phone, Shabbat Shalom. Like, no, man. Fucking no. No. No, bro. Dude, fish fry, right? Dude, right? Oh, shit. Fillet of fish fillet? Dude, all right, you ready? It's time to dance, boss. All right, I'm going to go make some videos. That was fucking entertaining. It is. That was entertaining, guys. It's time for that dance party, though. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone. Dude, fucking, we had a bunch of people kicking in tonight, bringing the dancing, and congrats. I'm sorry to Stephanie for your tarantula dying. Congrats to May Money on Don Lemon. Everybody that's fucking got good shit going on for them right now. Congrats to that. We fucking appreciate you guys. Right? Dude, tonight was fun. Now we dance. Hold on. I'm going to grab some socks. Give me 1 sec. I did dance barefoot yesterday, but it's fucking a little too hot today. A little too. I want the smooth, no splinters of socks. All right. There we go. There we go. Mind you, guys, I just want to be very clear. I have no problem if people want to Shabbat Shalom till their heart's content, but I do not believe for a minute that Charlie Kirk was ever saying Shabbat Shalom, guys. Okay? Like, dude, he was deeply evangelical, boss. Deeply. Dude. And let me just tell you, okay, let me just tell you guys, as somebody who was in a Jewish fraternity in college, and so I've had a deep immersion into the Jewish religion, okay? I personally always liked it. I thought it was the best of the Abrahamics because they're not pushy with it. That's my own personal preference. And I liked their sense of tradition, right? The way they just keep it amongst themselves. But what I wanted to say is that deeply evangelical people, even the ones that proclaim that they are like pro-Israel, Israel's our ally, they all believe the Jews are going to hell, okay? Because they don't accept Jesus as their savior. So deeply evangelical Christians believe all the Muslims and all the Jews are going to hell. Now, they partner with the Jews because the nation of Israel is very important to the rapture and to Jesus coming back. So they love Israel because Israel is how they get their Jesus back and how they get to heaven. Okay? But they fucking are not like, they don't celebrate them, they use them. Okay? Because they believe they're all hellbound. They don't give a shit about them. In actuality, evangelicals, not at all. Okay? It is like, dude, it is the most toxic, weird, fucking usury relationship you can imagine. Okay? From the evangelicals, how they perceive like that group, right? It's fucking weird because they act like, no, we love them, but they don't. They're using them all while they're on the way to hell. And they're using them to fucking bring about the rapture, dude. It is so fucked up. It is like the Abrahamic religions are so fucked up, dude. The whole thing is like, it's just toxic from top to bottom. Okay? All right, that's my thing. You ready? Let's fucking dance, baby. Whoa! Let's go. Dude, the truth is written on my nutsack. All right, just so you know, in case you're wondering, your religious text, the truth is written on my nutsack. All right, inquire within. Let's go. Get a little deja vu, baby. Come on. Oh! Oh!
They have a lot to say, but I've known been here before. I do recognize the title. There's marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. Time with you and I can see it like things will turn out okay. Everything lately, I'm feeling so familiar. Coming on greatly, it's feeling like a million. I've been here before, yeah, I do recognize the title of this marble floor.
Yeah, baby! Dude, that was spirited! Dude, that felt good, boss. I was cutting a rug. I'm out of breath. All right, I love you guys. Thank you for taking a journey with me tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be good. We got a long way to go, but we're going to win this shit. All right, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, stay radiant. Good night.
I just want to change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't want to hang around. I'd rather be found. It gets better. I wonder my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down. I'd rather be found. It gets better. I wonder my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be alone.